Oh, yeah. How about that? It is festivities time. Let's do it. Boom.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
And today, on March the 1st, we made it. March numero uno. We're gonna have some festivities going. I hope that we get a few interesting characters joining on Discord. And thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate that. You know, a lot of people got more better shit to do, and you entertain being here with me. I really appreciate that very, very much. Now, what if I tell you that this that you're watching right now is pre-recorded? Yeah, the frogs and all. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know what's going on with the live stream. I just needed to throw that in there. But you thought this was real, right? Well, hi. Let's stop this one and get the real deal going. Boom. There you go. Now we're talking. I'm sorry about that. Hey, I had to do it. All right, now we are live. Dude, it was a fucking pain to get the Discord going and start in the beginning. I see you, Chatbox. I see you. Big shout out to everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's do a squeaky earth this time for real. Shout out to the frogs. They dealt with me all this time. They're my accomplices. It's a quick squeaky earth. If you are watching this right now, please boom like under this video. And if you're watching this recorded, don't forget to hit the like too. And please support via PayPal, Super Chat, or membership. And this is also pre-recorded. I got you, damn it. Now, how will you know that if we are live? Well, I need to give you a shout out in the chat box, and we're gonna do that now. Check. I'm on it. I'm on it. Hold on. Be patient. Easy now. Easy. Okay, let's do it. I need to know. I need to know for real. Did I get you the first time? Do you think that was me, like right in real time, first time? Now I might have, because that was kind of unexpected. But did I get you the second time? I don't know. I think I did. I think I get you the second time. Now with all this clicking and fiddling on the well, I'm on it and changing microphones. Is this a real deal? I don't know, man. What if I say, boom? Big shout out to Farmer's Boy! Everyone is watching Conspiracy Cats. Steve, it's you. Marcus Dresden, boom, Flutter sucks. Earth is live. Sean Hawkins dong. Sean Smith. Yeah, there's a bit of boom boom going over here, man. What up? Sean responsibly, John Rapp. Mark Ting. I see you. Howard Moore. Hola, boys and girls. The boss man. That was Howard Moore. And also the boss man, John Hansen. Hello, I am here. And you are new, just like me. Charlie Welsh. See you, brother. Ben the Light. Kuso. RT96. Justin Franks. How can this still be fake, RT96, if I'm reading your comment? Unless I have psychic powers and abilities. No, it makes you think, right? Makes you think. No, we are on. That was a little two times clip. Maybe tomorrow will be 3 times. Maybe the day after will be 4 times. Maybe one day I'll do the phone show. Will be just pre-recorded and you're thinking I'm just ranting and talking to you. Hey, you never know what's going to happen. The boom. Turtles all the way down, man. Turtles all the way down. Shout out to Squeaky Earth. We got the lazy eye frog. We got mama frog and baby frog. Lazy eye frog goes, mobbit, mobbit. Mama frog goes, mobbit, mobbit. Baby frog goes, mobbit, mobbit. Thank you very much. We got Merv63 in the house. We also have Farmer's Boy. Farmer's Boy, I don't know if you watched the intro, but if you did, it got a little confusing there like 2 times. I was like doing some responsible trolling. What's up, man?
I'm sorry, this is a pre-recorded message.
This is a pre-recorded message, yes.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on?
Did it look legit? Like, for a moment.
It did, yeah.
It looked legit. It just took me like 5 minutes before the show. I said, what if I record kind of a little intro and just put it there? I could have it that looping like over and over for a whole, for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, people can still say like, nah, that wasn't even fake. That was you with the camera on and just pretending that was pre-recorded. But maybe but doing it in real time. You think that's a possibility? Or did that look pre-recorded to you?
That absolutely no way of telling. That could easily be pre-recorded. I mean, you sit there almost every day. You've got the Squeaky Earth, the frogs.
Right.
Yeah. It could easily go either way.
Right. Shout out to Matthew Hall. What's up? Matthew said that the frogs are gay. It's the chemicals in the water. Oh no, he's seen Alex Johnson. He was really shout out to that's a good one. I appreciate
Have you got
that.
the documents? Have you got the documents?
Hey, let me show you. Hold on. I'm gonna kill this camera. I'm gonna share screen for 1 second on the main computer so you see what's going on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Do you copy?
We got you.
You copy me here, okay.
Yeah.
Let me share screen from my main computer here really quick. Streamlabs desktop. This time you will know. Oh, feedback. What was that? Oh, that was fine. Sorry, I was hot micing. That was flip-flop. Flip-flop. I know. Jose was... Okay, you got my Streamlabs here?
Yep.
Okay, so this, look, fake intro 1, fake intro 2. Oh, let me click it to the audience. There you go. You see, now, when I click here, look, it was actually pre-recorded. Look at that. How about that? And then we got this, the second one.
There you go. Now we're talking. I'm sorry about that. Hey, I had to do it.
So you
Right, now we are live.
just before you went live.
Yeah, 2 little pre-recorded before I actually, actually went live. The real deal.
You silly ass.
Hey, I had to do it, man. It's all in good spirit. I'm just testing to see if I can do it. I could record me. I could plan, write something, and do like an amazing rant in the top of the show, and that will all be recorded, like pretending that it's live. Hey. I mean, anything can happen in the boom.
This is true.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
All right, let me go to the other account. Boom.
anything can happen. I'm expecting that we get a decent audience and good participants. We got a bunch of participants over here right now. We have in the house Chai, mic check.
Hello.
Checked. Yeah, I hear you. Earth is alive. Check, check.
My audio might be bad. Not sure.
But we hear you. It's all good. Farmers.
Yes, I'm still here.
Check 1, 2. Rude. Grubus. What up? No mic check. Merv, you want a mic check? And very, very expert. Who is this person? You want to get a mic check? No? Okay.
Oh well.
Mic check 1, 2.
Hey, that's Grubus. There you go. I see you. What up? I mean, I don't see you. I hear you. Whew, I think it's the patches. What patches? Matthew Hall, Fred Bainey, Jose Patches are better than Sunlight. What patch? Why are you talking about patches?
You were there, weren't you, watching it? That was what Conspiracy Cats was just on about.
Oh yeah, but I missed the last like 10 minutes.
Okay. Because you were busy recording stuff, yeah.
Exactly. So I had to record it in the last 10 minutes. I say 5, but 10 minutes before this show, I recorded that, edited it, uploaded to Google Drive, went to my main PC, downloaded it in my main PC, and set it up on the Streamlabs as a direct, like extra input. All of that in 10 minutes. Dude, I'm getting skilled in doing shit fast, bro. That's why I say I wonder if I took a few hours to do something really cool, man.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. I mean, if you can do that, not get it out in 10 minutes, then yeah. If you've got a few hours,
yeah.
And Kevin Conrad is pointing out that there's another rocket launch coming up.
That's about 40 minutes. Well, if you are still here, keep us updated. Or Farmers Boy, if you're still here, keep us updated.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have that extra page open right now. But yeah, 40 minutes, that sounds good, man.
It won't. It's not a SpaceX launch, so there won't be quite so much to see.
But still, we'll see the fire, the takeoff.
You'll see it take off, but once the anyone on the ground has lost sight of it, that's it. They'll have to cut the graphics.
Yep.
Because ULA, if I recall, don't put cameras on their rocket. So once it's gone up, and you can't see it. It's a bit of a shame.
Right. Bendy Light, I miss the frogs too, man. That we used to have like real frogs singing in the background in the live shows. That was in my previous place that I used to live.
Oh yes.
They were loud, like really loud.
Yeah, well, you used to stream in the evening and at night, didn't you? If I remember.
Yep. Evening and night time.
They used to come out and make a racket.
Yep. Because he was very, like he was a lot of plants. He was next to a little water canal thing. Like there was crocodiles and there was all kinds of snakes and animals in there. So there were frogs.
Oh, that's
everywhere.
right. Yes, you looked like you were sat in the undergrowth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were. I used in a little, in a little side, little table. There was kind of a big umbrella and some little bit of woods in the back, but most of the time behind some palm trees in the background.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was a big place. That was. I had to move on. It was a tiny house, very uncomfortable.
It's the crocodiles.
There was crocodiles in there, man, or alligators, whatever they are.
There would have been alligators.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
It doesn't matter. They were,
They've got
historic looking big lizards that got lungs, big teeth, a lot of strength.
Be very wary of anything that has the potential to eat you.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. So glad we don't have anything like that over here.
Yeah, it's actually cool, man. It's a good experience because you leave a little bit of attention, going on. Yeah. Keeps you on the edge, on the tip of your toes. all the time.
Yeah, I bet. Very careful where you go swimming.
Yeah, man. But the snakes were fucking dangerous. They were all over the place. They were because they were mixed. There were some garden snakes, but they were just very dark black, just dark black snakes. And then there were some, I don't know what the specific name, but there were some poisonous snakes, and they were exactly the same looking black, dark snakes. So I was just afraid of both. As a snake, holy fuck, from far away, man. And they were like just cruising around. One in my bed one time, you know, just going on the door.
Just about remember the last time I saw a snake over here in the UK, and that was a dead one. They just there aren't that many, and of the few we've got, one is I think mildly venomous. I think it'll make you a bit uncomfortable. But certainly none that will kill you.
It might make you like lose a chunk of skin, maybe, you know, surgery to clear it up, but it don't kill you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There is no snakes in Hawaii.
Oh, that audio is really bad. I couldn't understand it. And so, try now. Let's see. Right now.
I said there are no snakes here in Hawaii at all.
Really? Not at all.
Yeah. None at all.
Huh. And I know in Puerto Rico, I lived there 30 years, was born there. And I know I saw a few snakes, small and medium size. Actually, I saw like a 3-foot snake one time. But they were not as common as in the United States, in the areas in that place that I lived there. Like, I never see monkeys in Puerto Rico, but I know there are monkeys, a few monkeys, wild monkeys. But then there's an island that is called Isla de Mona. Isla de Mona is the monkey island. And that's kind of a bigger island, like a mile by a mile or mile by 2 miles, a little patch of island outside, a few miles offshore of Puerto Rico. Just tourism, a little hotel, one little bar, and that's it pretty much, and just beaches around. And then there was another one, is the Isla de Monito, the little monkey island. And that one, that was just monkeys, like the whole thing, a little smaller than. If this one's the monkey island is 2x2, the little monkey island is 1x1, mile, a small little island, and it's just monkeys all over the place. It's no tourism, nothing. I think, I don't know. I heard, maybe it's a lie, that they capture all the bunch of monkeys that were in Puerto Rico, and they've been just thrown in the island, That's why. Might be true, might be not. But I know there's monkeys because I've seen news and clips and articles and videos in Puerto Rico and shit. People just cruising around in boats, like, look at that, zooming in, monkeys all over the place. Good times.
Yeah, there's a few places that haven't got snakes. Ireland hasn't. New Zealand hasn't.
What?
And obviously the cold place, Antarctica's got certainly not suitable for anything cold-blooded like snakes. Don't stand a chance there. So yeah, generally really cold places don't have snakes, but I guess Hawaii hasn't because it's volcanic islands.
John Rapp, thank you for the warning. Keep an eye on that. He said to keep an eye on the frogs because YouTube prohibits breeding on streams. Yeah,
oh, blimey, yeah,
I got you. So I don't know what you're doing back there, bro. He's cool. He's chilling.
He's giving you a hug.
Yeah, I know, but he's got the mama frog in a position like a little very particular.
Oh, watch it! There'll be tadpoles all over the place. Oh, hang on a minute. There'll be frog spawn first, won't there? It's frog spawn before the tadpoles. That's right.
Yeah. What's up, Earth?
Jose, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, so you're not able to download videos in Discord?
I can. Just a little tricky because, I mean, when I open an extra tab, like I only. Before I go, dude, they were not compatible, man. The fucking RAM cards.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Those are the ones. That's the same. That's the one. The picture you sent me.
I
Same
know,
spot.
man. So I thought, dude, because I hadn't opened it, this laptop. I researched it. I researched the whole thing, the brand, the specifics on the laptop, and there was videos opening it and saying like this type of cars is specific. There's another one that got the little middle slider, like a little more to the side.
Yeah.
Something to explain. I say this one. So that's the one I was going for. So if I would have ordered it or tried to buy it, it was gonna be. It's not compatible, bro. It's the other one. I know. I took a picture and it just doesn't fit in the thing because the little hole, the little gap in between is off to the side, like half an
Is it
inch.
farther? Is it further? Well, I do have one, I think, but I think it's only 4 gigs, so it wouldn't really help.
I think so. I mean, I think anything helps, but the thing is, I can mail you this back because I'm not gonna use them. You know,
I mean, I can't use them.
you can't use
But
them.
if you want to email them back,
Yeah, I'll say because I know I got an old laptop that was heating up. That was heating up too bad. If I can replace a little fan and I can, and those are compatibles, I'll work it up.
yeah. There you go.
And I'll, if not, then I'll mail it to you. You might find somebody that can use it, more than me.
Take a picture. Just take a picture of the one that's in the laptop you want to replace.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because I do have some. I do have one. I think I might have one or two that might be the same one that you're talking about. Because I know there's a difference.
Right. Nice, man. Thank you. No, so right now I got Discord open, the Google open. That's pretty much it. It's actually in this laptop because the other one is that it's lifting the heavy work. But when I open an external player and open something else, it starts lagging a little bit. So I try not to push it too much. But I'll try this. I'll try downloading it. Is it this video clip that you got?
Yeah, I thought this was cool because it shows the Earth, right? Shows the curvature of the Earth, and then on the top of the screen it shows the biggest part of the ISS. And of course, we know the flat Earth is say it's the lens that's making it curve. But if that was true, then the ISS in the top of the screen would be curved too, and it's not.
Right. Huh.
And it's like perfectly across the top of the screen.
All right, let me do this. Let me share screen. I got an image up, just random. So just click on my screen share, and then I will switch the window to the clip, and then so I can come back to this window screen share. So click on my screen share. Let me present it for YouTube, and we'll take a look at that. Vivo. All right. Did you see that? So this one is a globe chip friends. No cow words here. No cow words here. This is hold on. Shout out to hold on. Looking good, man. Yeah, hold on. He's the man.
He's in more of a need of a shear than the sheep are.
Yeah, no, he is a superstar. He is famous. He's in Big Blues video.
Yes.
A few videos ago.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, I got that file downloaded. Downloads. And if I open this, I should get it. Let me try to get a looping a few times, repeat. And I can pause. And I should be able to share the window, change the window. You don't have to do anything. If you're watching my screen share, you are already in. And I go here, and you should be able to see this. Yeah, okay. Very good. No sound, huh? That's cool. Perfect. So what do you say is interesting here? I see the Earth rotating.
The screen. See the ISS part of the ISS?
Yeah, man.
It's like perfectly straight.
Mm.
If it was the lens,
Oh shit! Yeah.
that would hurt.
Fuck yeah, man. That's true.
Somebody always states that these images are always due to barrel distortion in the lens, and yet we're not seeing that.
Yeah, but isn't it then too much curvature for I mean just on the height of the ISS and the amount of Earth it sees? I know the camera angle is a little bit slightly tilted, somehow weird, but isn't then too much curvature what we're seeing in this clip?
It's a good question. That height?
Uh-oh, you broke. Yeah, you got up. Did I lose the stream?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
No, we're still here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think ISS video, I mean, it might have looked exactly the same. It's just from the way my brain is processing today. I don't know. I see a lot of curvature, like a little too much.
That actually matches. That amount of curvature matches what StingRay modelled, because he's generated a model of the Earth as seen from the ISS.
Really?
And it looks pretty much like that.
You're looking very close to.
If I recall correctly, yeah. But just look at, you've got that section of the ISS at the top of the shot. Now that's all straight and true. You know, if this was barrel distortion, that would be, you know, causing this curvature. Well, all of that would be curved as well. That would all be distorted, and it's not.
Yeah, that's what's taking me off.
Yeah, because when you do have barrel distortion, you generally get this at the top and the bottom.
Super curved, yeah.
But we're not seeing that. I mean, look at it. That's everything that should be straight is straight.
Hey, what's going on here, Biggest Douglas? Easy there. I don't know what you're talking about, but easy.
I download so much stuff on my phone. I got stuff from so long ago that I just download and I just forget about it. So I've been
yeah, man, it's good.
Again.
But you gotta empty that phone.
I know.
Either that or Hawaii needs a better internet, or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my eyes playing trick on me on this curvature. It's gotta be there.
I was gonna get a new phone, but I heard the S22 doesn't have an SD card, so I can't. I have to have an SD card.
Yes, they are moving away from them, and you've just got to put up with what's on the phone. You can't add to it, which seems a backward step to me.
It does help. I just don't use them SD cards anymore. For the longest time, I haven't used SD cards.
It's just good to be able to expand your memory, you know?
Yeah. I just try to keep my phone light, lighter, less apps and stuff.
Yeah, but I can understand why they do it, because, these days people have got various cloud services. I mean, every time I take a photo of my phone, it's automatically uploaded to my Dropbox account. I don't need to keep it on the phone.
And shout out to Bigos. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. I didn't out of nothing. I read that comment. I said, like, what are they talking about? Deaths and statistics from this year. I said, like, oh no, they're talking about the boo-boo, about the big coof or something. But yeah, you good. It was a snake bite deaths. That's good. That's acceptable. Oh man, I'm so afraid to talk about the big coof with YouTube babysitting us,
No, yeah.
Not afraid. I'm very, very careful.
Did you see what happened earlier on today? Because it's Tuesday, Simon Dan puts out a video every Tuesday.
I seen his upload. Yeah.
Yeah. And then within 20 minutes, it was taken down.
See, I'm telling you. Yeah.
He's back though.
Oh yeah. So he then put out a video this afternoon, sort of going, not sure what happened there. They said it was a content strike, because it was.
That's the video I heard. That's the video I saw. Yeah.
And then a bit later on, his video was back up. So that's the first time I've ever seen somebody complain about having his video taken down and it going back up in the same day.
All right.
Yeah. So
I didn't know it was back.
Yeah. I suspect he was. I suspect it was taken down by,
algorithm
system they have. And then when somebody looked at it and went, "Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, we'll put it back again."
Yeah, I didn't hold much hope he was going to get it back because like Mr. Sensible and a few others when they were talking about the pandemic.
Forbidden word.
Yeah.
Well,
the proof about the situation, about the health issues. Don't mention specifics, please.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. No, I promise you won't.
But the word is just wrong. Just don't mention the word.
You can't mention that word. I wasn't going to mention what virus it was.
But no, just mention a second word, bro. 2 strikes. You just mention the second forbidden words. 2 strikes.
Just don't
Okay.
But I suspect what helped Dan in this case is the number of subscribers he has.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I would think that played a factor. I mean, he is currently at 443,000 subscribers. He's nearly hit that 500,000 mark. I think when you've got a channel like that doing what he does, I think people in YouTube tend to pay them a bit more notice.
Yeah, but it needs to be fair and balanced, though, doesn't it? It doesn't matter how many subscribers you're going to do. If you're going to have a rule, then you've got to apply it to everybody,
They should, you should be able to.
You're right, you should, but this is YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what's funny? There's another channel that I watch. He builds computers, right? And he was. Can you hear me?
Just sort of.
Is that the bad?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Is it your internet or are you using cheap headphones?
Let's try now. That sounded good.
Yeah. All right. So there's another channel that I watch with a guy who builds computers, and he's got like 1 million subscribers. And he ordered something from this company, and they sent it back to him saying that he damaged it. Now they didn't know who he was at the time, so he was like, "Wait a minute, I didn't damage. I never opened the box." He sent it back to them. He got back with them. Went on Twitter and was like, "Hey, what's going on with this company?" He sent them, I purchased this product from them, and they sent it back to me saying that I damaged it and opened the box. So when they finally figured out who he was on Twitter, that's when they started trying to contact him, like, "Hey, we're sorry, we'll for a refund." And it was because they found out that, of course, he has a huge YouTube following. Got like 1.2 million subscribers, and that's when they wanted to start, giving the refund. So yeah, having a big channel definitely helps, I guess. It shouldn't, but unfortunately it does.
Yeah, right. They might not have snakes in Hawaii, but sounds like you got a lot of potatoes there. Shout out to John Hawkins. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm inside of a truck right now. I'm using my wireless.
I appreciate that comment. Mr. Victory Radio say, "Coof life matters." Yes, indeed. Yeah, I avoid talk. Dude, I have avoided the topic for the past few years or whatever, since a year and a half, 2 years or whatever it was, since that shit is going on, and I just hate it. You get the words out of people. Because I barely talk about it. I barely commented in other channels, other chat boxes. But I seen that it divided a lot of people. It got the worst out of people.
Yeah.
It is.
It does. The topic can get very confrontational and controversial.
Yes.
With a slight difference of opinion from one side or another, it doesn't matter what side you're on. And even if you are in the right side, but if you got a slight difference of opinion, it just goes off, and oh my god, you get too technical and too, nah, not interested. Thanks.
So is Gary Why Bother here then? Is that's not Why Benga Boost, is it?
No.
Is that Gary? Oh, that's a
No,
shame.
the actual
man.
Gary isn't here.
Show up. He'll probably
That's
show
a
up.
pity.
He might
Pretty
show
big.
up, you know. He said the afternoon, roughly around this time is when he got off work. Hopefully he show up. Maybe he's just lurking in the Bev. Bev got like a stream going. Maybe he's just lurking over there in the chat. He said, I don't want to talk to ballers today. Let me hear on these guys repeating the same shit over and over and convincing themselves of some bullshit geometry.
Yeah, that is a pretty popular guy right now.
Popular the wrong way. Yeah, well, if he sees me here, he knows what I'm going to ask him. So maybe he might avoid it. I don't know.
Yeah, he just don't like you. What is your angle with Gary there?
Well, you see, he's got a bit narky with me because about his theories about things disappearing from the bottom upwards. Well, one day I challenged him. I said, well, I used to live near quite a busy airport. Well, it's a small airport, fairly busy one. And as a kid, I used to watch these aircraft go past my house and kind of flying away from it, kind of like a flight path as they took off, right? So I said, well, how come I never saw an aircraft, moving away from me, from the observer, and disappear above the horizon and disappearing from the bottom upwards? And his response to that was, well, you didn't know what you were looking for. And I said, okay, so fine, well then prove that happens then. Prove that phenomenon, that does happen. And for weeks now, probably about a month, I've been pestering about making a video and doing a video actually showing that happened, and he hasn't yet. I don't wonder why, because it doesn't happen, Gary.
I've never seen planes do that.
No, I don't know anybody else that has. But apparently, there was one day he told me on his comments on one of his videos. Apparently, he saw one do just that, and I said, right, okay. So that shows the video. Then, of course, he didn't have a camera with him at the time. Apparently.
We got Brian Leakey here. Let me ask Brian. Do you want to get a mic check? What do you know about the airplanes that as they go away, they appear to disappear from the bottom up? I don't know exactly the argument. I know it's one of the arguments that Gary Benga presents. You might have heard it.
Man, what I notice about airplanes is that when on a good clear day when you can see them low to the horizon, that they look like fucking space shuttles, man. They look like they're going straight down, but the ones coming towards you, they look like they're going straight up, man. You just see they look like little space shuttles from where I'm at, dude. I swear to God, I thought they were space shuttles like several times until I learned perspective.
But that's not what we're talking about.
When have we ever seen? I've never seen an airplane like at the horizon, man. They usually disappear. I mean, any airplanes I've seen, they usually disappear like in the
No, you
sky.
probably haven't paid attention, man.
No, Brian. I used to pay attention. Trust me, I used to sit there with my binoculars. I used to watch these aircraft until I couldn't see them anymore, and they were above the horizison.
Yeah, well, look, find you a good clear spot. Find you a good clear spot on a good clear day.
But according to Gary, they're supposed to disappear from the bottom upwards, like everything else, but they don't.
Man, I don't. I always lose sight of them before they. I mean, they disappear bottom up if you have a tree line or something like that, But usually before they get.
No, that's not what we're saying. No, above any obstruction.
I've never seen one all the way to the horizon, to be honest with you, so I can't vouch for that. But let me say one thing: find a good open area on a good clear day, and find you, just in a line of in a path where the planes are coming right at you near airport, or if you're ever in the area, and look, the planes that are way off in the distance, like anything under about 30 degrees, way off in the distance, the planes look like they're going straight up.
That's not what we're talking about, Brian. You keep changing the subject.
I'm not trying to.
No. He's commenting on planes because Gary Benga, the point about the planes disappearing bottom up is Gary Benga's. That's why I asked Brian if you have heard Gary mention something about because the plane is really high up above our eyes and the ground is closer or something like that, the plane appears to disappear from the
Well, let's
top,
think about that for a second, Jose.
I don't know what it is here.
Jose, let's think about that for a second. Okay, let's say if your horizon is artificial and it's your house. So as the plane goes away from you, it's going to disappear from the bottom up, because your house is blocking it. So if it keeps going and you move from your house so you can see a little bit further, and then you have like a tree line a little bit further away. So it keeps going down and down. So then it's going to disappear bottom up over the tree line. So then you move and you have a way distant tree line off in the distance. If you can see that far, so it's things have to disappear from the bottom up, because that's just the way perspective works. When you start talking about the horizon, that's where the debate comes in.
No, but it's not the horizon. This is what I'm trying to explain to you, Brian. Right? Okay. From my perspective, in my house where I used to watch these aircraft, I used to watch them just disappear above the horizon. Right? Okay. If I had more powerful binoculars, they probably would go over the horizon, but I didn't. But the point is that the aircraft did not disappear from, or never did, but disappear from the bottom upwards. But according to Gary, it should do, and it does. It doesn't. And I don't know anybody that's actually observed that. Yeah, absolutely. If it goes over the horizon, yeah, of course. Because
it's just the way perspective works. You know what? That's a good. I've never really watched one. I have a P1000 too, man. I've never been in an area that was clear enough for me to see far enough to even see if I could see an airplane that far away, man. But I had to get back to you on that. You got me curious now, though.
Yeah, I know. I try to record some planes sometimes with my P900, and I have caught a few planes, but it's just the tripod I have is not the best, to try to keep it in focus, and the angle is not right, and it just never get them all the way through. And where I am here, you're surrounded by a lot of trees and roofs that I cannot even enjoy a good sunset or sunrise because everything is surrounded by trees and buildings,
And it's also hard, man, because the star's bad enough, but it's barely moving. For all intents and purposes, you might as well just say that a star is just sitting there. A plane, when you're zoomed in, everything is so touchy, man. It's difficult, very difficult, even with a tripod to get a plane that full zoom far away.
For sure. Oh, for sure. But I mean, Gary can produce all the theory he wants to. You can draw in all the lines he wants to on a piece of paper. But until he can actually prove that that's what happens, then his theories don't mean shit. Sorry, but they don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to agree with him on this. I'm not going to disagree either, but I can't agree with Gary. But I usually support what he says as far as perspective goes. I mean, you do agree that everything disappears bottom up as far as above the horizon, something going away from us. Everything drops down as it goes away from us, right?
Yeah, because the Earth curves away. Exactly. Thank you very much.
Things
Gary.
don't disappear bottom up due to perspective. Things shrink overall in size due to perspective, but they don't disappear bottom up due to perspective. That's not how it works.
No, but if you have an artificial horizon, like the example I was just given, it's got to disappear from the bottom first as it goes over your house.
Because your house is getting in the fucking way. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
That's,
exactly.
Your house is getting in the way, and then the next horizon, say the trees, it's going to disappear bottom first as it goes off in the distance. It's not curving around the Earth. We all at least agree that that's perspective and not Earth curve, that part of it.
Thank you. This is a really great lesson in perspective from Brian.
Yes, isn't it just?
No, it's good. Yeah, but I try to mention always like the first perspective 101. The main understanding of perspective is that whatever you're looking, if you put a point right at the end, the middle point of where you're looking at, everything. If I got a car in front of me, as the further it goes away, it's gonna appear to approach to that point, the car, and it appears to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it will get to that point, and there's gonna be a point that you're not gonna see it. It's gonna start disappearing. But there's the key word that goes along with perspective: uniformly. As the things go away from you and the things are further from you, they appear to get smaller uniformly until they reach that point that you cannot see them anymore. But uniformly must have been thrown in there. When you're talking about perspective, like the art of perspective and the everything known with perspective that is drawn and put out there. Using a flat surface, a flat ground, everything is straight lines. Unless you are specifically drawing something with curvature on it, then you have to tweak the perspective around, and you must draw that point of convergence under that horizon if you're doing a globe perspective type of thing, you know.
I don't know why you argue with Brian, because I agree with everything he sees. If there is,
Yeah. No, it's not arguing. It's not trying to, trying to understand each other. But Brian, what do you think about? Is it fair what I explained? Perspective there. I mean, could you see what I was explaining? Yeah.
The only thing I would have to add to that would be the diffraction limit of 0.02 degrees or close to that.
So let me finish. So I agree with Brian. If there is a house in the way, the house will block the airplane. We see it goes bottom first or whatever. And if there are trees in the distance and they block the airplane, then yeah, we will see the same. And where there are no trees and no house,
Shout out to StingRay.
And we see the same, we must conclude that it is the same as we saw before when there was a house there.
Yeah. Let me shout out to StingRay.
Yeah, I agree with that. But what is Gary saying, man? What is he? Is he saying that it disappears bottom up, like at the horizon?
Really quick, please. I just want to say something. I'm gonna be presenting StingRay screen for YouTube, but you guys can continue, and StingRay might want to add up. But StingRay, I think, is kind of doing some graphs and presentation on perspective as for visuals until he just want to participate.
After that, Jose, after you, StingRay, can you pull up the Black Swan? I had a point I wanted to make and ask y'all a couple questions.
Let me tell you this, Brian, because this is exactly, I actually put this in thinking, not of you, but thinking of what exactly you just said. Now, you did rightfully say, and you're on about the condensation trails, not actually the aircraft, where it seems to go down, to the ground, basically. And I agree with you, absolutely. So what I decided to do, if you can click on my live stream, is I decided to put a very, very, very large contrail in at about 33,000 feet and look at it from the ocean on my ocean example. And on the left-hand side, we've got a contrail that goes down to the horizon. And he's describing exactly what he said. We've got clouds that meet at the horizon as well. Exactly what he said. Now, this is within 345 miles. This is what we see within 345 miles. Now, the interesting thing is the one on the right is the flat Earth prediction. Same contrail at the same elevation. And if we zoom out, we can see that, well, hang about. The contrail is nowhere near the horizon at 35,000 feet, or 33,000 feet, 350 miles away. So I agree with you. The left one is what we see. The right one, we never see. The left one is what we see.
That plays right into the point I'm going to make about the Black Swan. But yeah, something's going on. It's something's curving. Like it's either the light or the ground. I'll give you that.
Yeah. It definitely is either the light or the ground. But do you know how we would be able to determine which is curving using like critical thought? We can say that if it's the atmosphere that is bending the light, in which case it would be, in this case, the density. We can also say that the atmosphere is not completely uniform in the nature of doing that. So when it bends light, it's not perfect. So the more the light gets bent, the more divergence you have slightly. So it begins to look like you're looking through a liquid. Now, the atmosphere is in fact a fluid. So it rings true. The more divergence, the more wavy, messy, liquidy it looks. And that's how you know light is being bent with the atmosphere.
That's a fair argument. That's a fair point. But I would throw this in as a case argument, is that on different days we will examine different rates of drop and whatnot. So I could also conclude that it's obviously the atmosphere making things appear higher and lower. And your argument, it would have to be Earth curve. It would have to be Earth curve and atmosphere, right? We can prove it's atmosphere because we can see it change, right? We know that Earth curve couldn't change.
No, absolutely. Are you looking at my screen at the moment?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm having trouble I see like a split three ways is what it looks like to me. It looks like an oil rig and
it's shit.
Going off at a distance.
Yeah, it's shit.
In a phone, it's a tricky one to see all of that. To see the whole thing.
Right,
yeah, detail's not great on a phone. I must admit, I'm using a phone as well. So yeah, I agree.
Why do people use phones? That's just ridiculous. But anyway.
I've got no choice in them because my computer's not here. I do not have a computer.
That's way better. That's way better, man.
Yeah, for people using phones for some weird reason.
I can see it just fine. I can see it on mine just fine.
2 screens. Yeah, I'm having to sort of cheap it. I'm only on 2 screens.
I can see your screen on my phone just fine.
Okay. Let me finish the fight and then I'm done.
Farmer's boy cheaping it with 2 screens.
Yeah. So what I've got here is I've got the curved Earth. Now, what I can do to this is I can't add the distortions of the divergence or variance, make it look like soupiness looking through a liquid. But I can have the effect of the atmosphere over distance. So what it means is in extreme refraction days, I can alter it to look like that. And it does actually look like that. Or I can say this is with no refraction. Now,
ain't it weird how on extreme refraction days there's nice crystal clear days we can see so far? That's got to be at least a head scratcher to you.
No, because the only time anybody's ever shown me the base of something so far, it has been like looking through a fluid, which means the light is really, really variant at that point, which means it's been perturbed by the atmosphere a lot. Now, one of the things here, Brian, is if we can agree that there is a density gradient to the atmosphere, and we can tell that by just the pressure differentials. In fact, even some phones can tell whether you're upstairs or downstairs based on a pressure differential, which is pretty amazing. Now, that causes light to bend at a lesser rate the higher up we get, which means we can make long-distance observations quite accurately from higher altitude. But there's 2 points I want to make here. One is, at the 350, these ships are only like 6 miles away, 10 miles, 8 miles away, something like that. Now, we're already looking at a fraction of a degree to bring these up so that we can see them. So the light doesn't have to bend that much. But the interesting thing about it is, on a flat Earth, the atmosphere is still here. So what we would actually get is a negative, which means it would look more like that. That is what the atmosphere would do on a flat Earth if light bends downwards. Now,
yeah, I can give you an example of that. Like when Sly Sparkane went out there with Jesse Kozlowski, and he observed the lake, the Salton Sea. He observed the lake blocking the mountains, and he was 6 foot above the water, and the lake itself was blocking the water, was blocking the mountains in the background. So yeah, so that happens.
I mean, in incredibly extreme circumstances, then yes, that could even happen on a curved Earth. But what I'm saying is, this would be an average day on flat Earth, what we're looking at right now. Now, the center line of this vision and the vanishing point for perspective is the center of the camera. Now, the horizon has not risen to eye level. It's gone way past it, and that would be due to refraction. But what everybody thinks, or flat earthers think we expect to see, is this. And that's if a flat Earth had no atmosphere, we would absolutely see this. If a flat Earth had
that's
no
why
atmosphere.
I said, man. I'm unique then, because I agree that something's got to be happening. The light's got to be curving. But that does bring me to my point with the Black Swan. But I want to do some more tests. I want to get a theodolite and go out and catch a Black Swan day. And that's something nobody's done is went out there with a theodolite on a Black Swan day. And that would be interesting. But I understand your point, man.
Mm.
Why would you want to see extreme refraction and try and use that as some sort of flat Earth proof?
Well, if you could pull up a Black Swan, I'd like to make a quick point.
I think someone put it in the
I got it. Let me share my screen. Now you must click on my screen share.
Don't forget, there's 2 different versions, though. Don't forget.
Yeah. I'm gonna check on my screen share. Oh, let's get the.
By the way, I put two pictures in there with pictures in reality of clouds touching the horizon, which matched his presentation.
So we all see the black swan, and that to y'all would be an extreme refraction day. You
got it, Brad.
With that. Yeah, I see it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so to me, it's an unarguable point to not, to claim that it's not refraction going on, because look at that arm bending. Can you zoom out so we can see that arm that's that crane that's bending? Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So, but here's the point. Okay, so if light is bending down, making things appear higher on that day, then that means everything we see is a gradient. It's bending light down towards us. We're seeing it higher, except that arm. Okay, so you mean to tell me, my point would be, is I'm questioning that everything we see in that picture is curving down, making it appear higher, except that one arm, and that happens to be the fire boom. To me, it's more realistic to say that light curves up, it appears lower, and that arm is looking away from everything else. We're seeing it different, so we're seeing it lower because of refraction. So on that day, to me, there's less refraction going on, except with that crane arm. Can anybody respond to this one point? Would you agree that in y'all's model, the whole picture has to be bending upwards or appearing to be higher, except that one crane arm?
So there's no. So yes, everything in that image, according to our model, with refraction, is not in the location it is. It should be a lot lower, and it should be obscured. Now, there's 2 telltale signs of this, and this isn't an image, by the way. This is a frame video. If you watch the video, that arm does slowly move and distort, as does that distortion run across the entire thing very slowly. It's a video. You need to watch it. But the other telltale sign that you've got here is if you take a curve or a sphere and then you light that sphere. Now what you have is the angle to the light of that sphere differs. And a lot of the time what you get with refraction when it pulls up what's behind is you get different tones or, well, different intensities of light, which should be in light and out of light. And guess what? That's exactly what we see here. We see the ocean being lit because that part of the ocean is slightly more towards the light than anything else. But it's been made flat by refraction. But the light didn't suddenly end halfway towards us on the ocean. It really didn't. But the curvature did change its incidence angle to the light. And we're just
ain't that cool though, man?
No, it is cool.
Because we can see the shadows of the legs on the water. And if I'm not mistaken, that horizon should be just a couple miles away. So the bottom legs of the first tower should be completely hidden. And it arguably almost the whole second tower.
So my last point on this, and then I'll let someone else get in.
Over half of the second tower should.
My last point on this is let's take the black swan argument. Let's leave this out and let's argue about swans just for 2 minutes.
Okay, StingRay, because I got this image and I wanted to show the bottom image, but take your few minutes with Brian, then we'll go back to this.
It's a minute, if that. So Brian, I've got a serious question for you. If we're at a park and I say all swans in this park are white, and you see 1,000 swans there, and you're like, I don't believe this. And then you go looking and you find this shitty little brown swan, yeah? And it's actually a mature swan. It's not a young one or anything.
Brown swan.
And you bring it to me and you say, hey, that statement that you made was wrong. Look, here you go. Now, do you think that singular brown swan invalidates my argument that all swans are white? Or do you think it wipes out every white swan? Because in this image, this is one out of many, and it is the minority. It is the most distorted out of this guy's image set. All the rest that are not as distorted and very clear, where you can even make out waves on the horizon, not blurry messes like this.
God, that's a clear day, dude. You must be mistaken, man. You must have not went out and did photography, dude. There's usually, there's almost always an inferior mirage. It's murky down there. This is a very clear day, dude.
Hey, on my screen right now, do you think this could be a clear day? Better day than the one in the top?
Yeah, that's what we usually get, man. And sometimes you could see through that water. Sometimes you could see through little parts of the water blocking the tower. But I was hoping you'd pull that up. So what's going on is so you got to be under the impression that arm that's bending down in the Black Swan that you just had up is the only thing in the correct position. Is that one arm that's bending down? No. Everything else is refracted, right?
No.
So then you'd have to agree that what's going on is light phenomenon, and has nothing to do with curvature. We get different appearances on different days. You know.
What do you mean?
It's hard to argue.
Why is it obstructed to begin with?
Because of refraction.
Up, not down.
Because
refraction. You would agree that the horizon changes daily, sometimes hourly, due to refraction, right? Skunk Bay. I mean, you're not arguing that, are you?
Yes, but that bottom photo shows it nice and clear. There's very little refraction going on, and yet that further rig, half of it's hidden.
Yeah, so that day, there must be Earth curve on that day, right?
Well, there's always Earth curve.
What do you mean on that day? What?
On
The
that,
worst-
there's always
worst
Earth
thing
curve.
about
you
that image,
muppet.
Brian.
There shouldn't be anything obstructed. That's the point.
Yeah, the
Brian.
worst thing about that image, Brian, is not actually, believe it or not, it really isn't. I promise you, it really isn't that rig is behind the water in the lower image. That's really not the most damning issue here, I promise you. It's that rig is considerably lower than your eye level. About 90 foot high on that rig is below your eye level, yet you're stood on the beach. Now that is
That's a good point. That's what I want to put to the test right there.
Is on a curve.
That is a good point. That's the point I would like to put to the test, just to bring a little clarity to what's going on. So in your model, that you have Earth curve and you have light refraction. So in my model, there is no Earth curve. It's just the light, and it changes constantly. I do understand your model. I do understand that looks like blockage, but there's ways to check against that, man. And in my opinion, it's just the light, man. It does things. Skunk Bay would be a good proof.
How would you check it, Brian? Would you use a theodolite or auto level and see what would be at eye level?
Lemon burst laser, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Skunk Bay, man, it's the mountains in the background that do it, man. It's not the foreground that people look at. It's the mountains in the background. They balloon up and down, and so that can't be Earth curve doing that. That's got to be the light.
Yeah, that's a bad. That would be a bad place to do a test like this.
Well, it's a time lapse.
Yeah, and in that time lapse, does anything get obstructed?
No, that's why I'm referring to the distance. He's up high. So the only thing we see bouncing up and down is the shit way in the background. That's why I said, if next time you watch Skunk Bay, look at them mountains, man. It might, at least enlighten you to my argument. They balloon up and down drastically.
The point, yeah, but the point is, you don't want to. That's the thing. You want to get away from those effects. You don't want to. Oh, let's look at a day.
Yeah, like I said, he's up off the ground. He's up. That's the whole point, B-ball. He's up out of the band. He's up in the air, way above the harbor.
Yeah. I got it on screen.
Yeah, see, he's got height in there. He's a couple hundred feet.
Okay, but still, you still see the effect, though, right? We understand what causes that.
Well, to me, your argument would be that them mountains are moving up and down due to Earth curve and refraction. To me, that's just light bending, man.
It's just refraction.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant to say that the photos we snap where we have blockage would be due to Earth curve, and then also refraction, depending on how much is blocked. To me, it's just the light, man.
Just saying that, Brian, just saying it's just the light. You can literally say that about any image or anything that we see. What's going on here is when you look at the video, can you honestly tell me that that doesn't look like you're looking through a liquid transiently over time? Because it does to me. Now, the other thing that happens here, the other thing that happens here is, yes, it moves up and down, but the odd thing is, I can obviously see an inferior mirage there at the surface, but it compresses. It doesn't hide from the bottom up, and it never creates a crisp line. It compresses that entire peninsula or whatever it is down, and brings the water up. Yes, granted, absolutely, but it never brings the water. This is the impossibility of refraction. Or I know of no image that would show this, or no demonstration that would ever allow you to see this, and that's to bring up the ocean and to drop everything down in the background and bring the ocean up in front of it would, to be very crystal clear, would require the atmosphere of the Earth to be inverted.
No, I've already look, man. The first time, hold on, I've already brought up a point against that. The very first time that Sly Sparkane went out there with Jesse Kozlowski, the first time they set up the auto level, it was 7 feet above the lake, and the lake blocked the mountains. They thought it was our curve, but it was the light, man. So you can't say that doesn't happen. That's why I said I would like to get a theodolite on a Black Swan day to bring a little clarity, but I don't think it'll prove anything 100%. And like I said, I do understand your argument. You make some good points, man.
But Brian, honestly, the best thing that a flat earther could do, and literally there is no fucking image of this for very good reason, is get out of the zone near the water and very low down and get high up so that the margins of error decrease significantly. That error tolerance of refraction decreases the more you go up. So get to Boston and get on the coast, but get like 500 foot up if you can out of a tower or something, or maybe 200 foot up out of a tower, and take a photograph of the mountains of Nova Scotia, which will be northeast, behind a moon set, in front of a moon set, sorry. Because if the Earth was flat, those images would be literally pissing amazing, and I've never seen that because it's impossible.
Yeah, man, you know what? The main thing I regret, I mean, that really sucks. Jose's shit got wiped, man. That really sucks for a lot of reasons. But for me personally, my main reason is I've been meaning to cut out that day. You argued refraction and had a little model set up and explained it very well against Paid NASA Shield and made him rage quit how you were arguing how potentially the light could cause the appearance of blockage and all that. And you even explained it up at higher altitudes, how it could invert due to the humidity and whatnot. You did a hell of a job, and I did not get to clip that out, man. And you did a better job than most of the flat earthers I know describing how it could work, logically.
Yeah, that was a big loss. A lot of good interactions, videos, presentations in my main channel.
I got a lot of cutouts, man, but they're one-sided though. I don't have any of the cutouts to defend the globe. I just have like a lot of cutouts from just errors made by.
But that's fair anyway. It's fine.
Hey, Brian,
history, man. Good God, it sucks. The more I think about it, man, that's our history, man. We years of going back and forth, man, and claims and all that.
Lots of observations that I had there, and I lost them. That was I deleted the SD cards because I had the good quality uploaded on YouTube, and I lost a bunch of those. It is right.
And you talk. So many people came in to discuss them images too, man.
Lots of people.
Golly, man! But it's almost like getting a clean slate.
Yeah, that's it.
For all the claims we made.
Jose, there was one guy. I remember. I was looking for this show too. There was one guy that came in. I'm not sure who he was, but he was he had connected all the airports, like a bunch of airports, on the surface of the Earth, and he was saying because of the distance, all of those connections would create a three-dimensional shape, and they would never create a flat.
I
Remember
remember
that
that guy. Yeah, what the fuck was that?
And
Yeah.
I was trying to find that show because he put it into some computer program that he had, and he got the distances of all the airports, connected them with lines. And he said, if the Earth was flat, the shape that all those connections would make, it would all be on a flat surface. And then when he did that, it would never create a three-dimensional shape.
Man, George Numchucks, man. George Numchucks had a image of the. I mean, he showed that the ice blocks the markers. Sometimes the ice rises up and blocks the little not the marker, but the island it was on.
You can find the horizon. You can find that in his channel. He got the original, all the raw and the original videos on his channel. What we presented here was clips and parts of the of those videos.
What was this about? The shape of the lines between the airports?
So the guy wrote some kind of program, right? Mm-hmm. And he took the distances between a bunch of airports,
right?
And he put that into the program. And when he did that, every time he would show that, and it was like a 3D model, and it would be lines in between each airport, and all the distances. And on a flat Earth, it would create a flat plane. But when he did
the AE map would match the globe though, as far as azimuths go and angles to the airport.
No. The distances wouldn't match.
Did they use what? I like to see this because it's just it just doesn't work unless his program.
Yeah, well, it's called the azimuthal equidistant, man. Because the azimuths are equal.
There's a small problem with that.
Hold on 1 second. No, so let's say we have 4 or 5 airports on the AE map, right? We connected them all with lines, and we had the actual distance. We took the actual distances between each airport, right? Those would be a specific distance of a line, and we tried to flatten those out. They would never flatten out to a plane. They would always make a three-dimensional shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, but you're talking. It'd be so hard to check because when you're talking 100 miles, you're only talking 10 foot of difference between an Earth curved line and a straight line. Man, I was shocked when
we're not talking that. We're talking the distance. Like I just posted, like Sydney, Santiago, Los Angeles doesn't work on a flat Earth. Can't work on a flat Earth.
Yes. See.
Yeah, you say that, and then you say that, and then I investigate it.
Brian, how come you haven't? I think
investigate. Investigate how long.
NASA, let Earth is Live finish this point with Brian, and then you can get it.
Really quick. Because I sent you a bunch of DMs about that Santiago and Chile flight. Have you been looking into that or no?
No, I looked into the 1979 Soccer Cup in Australia. And because the excuses I got, hold on, let me finish. The excuses that everybody, including Peyton S. Schill, said that they need to fill the flights and everything, so they come up through Los Angeles and go twice as far. Another 500 miles on your globe, and you're at Australia. Why would you come all the way up to Los Angeles when just another 500 miles you're to fucking Australia? And he said because they got to fill the flights up, but they had multiple flights because they had the soccer team and all the coaches and everybody and a bunch of fans, and all the flights, every single one of them came up to Los Angeles and went an extra couple thousand miles on your globe to go down to Australia, man. And to me that's fishy, man. So maybe
Did they charter the flights? Did they take commercial flights?
I got to do a shout out before you answer that, Brian. Big shout out to Marcus Dresden. Marcus Dresden hit me up on a PayPal hit, $10. Thank you, brother. The big $10. That's it. You see, I made my money today. Hell yeah! And it's not for energy drinks. Get yourself the real stuff. Coffee. Shout out to Marcus Dresden. Thank you, brother. I'm gonna change screen, and I got a clip over here by Perspective. This is one of his favorite new findings. Perspective, Brian. You don't have to do anything if you already see my screen share. This is gonna be looping. He did overlap, give presentation to images. It is the same height above the water. It is just a different distance. One is from closer, and one is for miles further away. And this is what we get at the end. You want to give us your thoughts on this? Have you seen it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's the same size, right? So the one that's further away is magnifying, right?
So
what?
I mean, unless he had did some kind of adjustment. I haven't really examined this, but the first thing I noticed is, like I said, that they're the same size. So the one in the distance must be magnifying, right?
So they can't be
So
magnified, can they?
what?
So the one, so then you get your
One at a
blockage
time.
from your magnification. It's been demonstrated that through Fresnel lenses, through different lenses, that you get blockage, man.
It's not a Fresnel lens.
One at a time, guys. Fred, you got to
Well, look, in my opinion, man, in my opinion, for the Earth to be a plane, okay, I think you could agree with this. You don't have to agree that the Earth is flat, okay, but if it were, then there'd have to be some fairly consistent light bending over long distances. Over short distances, it could bounce around. We'd notice changes and all that, but over long distances, it'd have to be fairly consistent as far as with the sun, the moon, and whatnot, and over many, many miles. And so, to prove that otherwise, it'd be real difficult, man.
But let's look at this like one more time, right? What is it? The video clip. We got this. Okay, pause. I'm gonna pause it here. He is from certain distance away, and he's getting the full thing. The whole little white lighthouse. It looks like land or trees or whatever it is. You got a little piece of land, and then you got the water, the surface of the water touching the land. But then when he just go fucking further away, this is what we get. That's a lot missing, and it's very keeping very roughly exactly the same angular size in the top right here. Now this being magnification, I mean that's the I heard that and I hear you, but why does this magnification make this just buried down the water, the whole thing from the land onto the whole thing on the lighthouse, just the tippy top? We'll see. Just please
answer that.
Yeah, but I don't want anybody interrupting. I don't want Beeble or NASA, anybody interrupting. To give you a minute or two to really explain us what do you think is going on here.
Okay, I think we could call it magnification unless he did some kind of zoom in. I need to look into this, but my point would be, you can take in just an 8-foot desk and take a lens and put something about 6 inches above it, like Rob Skiba did the sun, and you can make it set, okay, in just 8 feet. Okay, so over miles, that should be no problem. The atmosphere would have to be lensing, and I think meteorologists have claimed that. But my main point would be is if they're the same size, and the other ones obviously 2 or 3 times further away, there'd have to be some kind of magnification. But I would like to know the distances. And if he did expand the one far away to make it match,
Yeah, for perspective, Ranty, he's in the chat. If you want to give us just the two distances, the closer when we see the full image and the further away when we see the other image. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, it is roughly the same height above the water, what you took. If you're 10 feet or 20 feet above the water, the other one is 10 feet or 20 feet. And they're like the same, it's not changing in height too much. I just want to know the other two distances. It's good.
If it's twice as far away, it should be twice as small, though, right?
Yeah, but this is what I explained somebody one time, right? If I take a picture of the squeaky earth right here in front of me, and I take a picture of my phone to see the full squeaky earth, right? And then if I go across the street and I take a picture of my squeaky earth from far away, what I can do is open the picture that is from far away, and the squeaky earth is going to be tiny. And if I want to do an overlap to see if they change, they get distorted, I'm not going to overlap one big one in top of a small one. I'm going to take the image from across the street and I'm going to magnify it myself. I'm going to expand it big to make it the same size than the other. That's not no kind of manipulation. It's just to make it even. He might have done that. He might have got the lighthouse looking a lot smaller, but then he magnified in his end so he can overlap it and see what the difference. Yeah, so that's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that would strengthen your argument definitely. If Ranty's in the chat, yes or no? Did you magnify the one that was further away to make it match.
Let's say he did magnify. I think, I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. What will it change the argument? Will it change the explanation on what is going on?
Did he magnify it up? Did he magnify it down? I mean, did he magnify it centered? I mean, that's why I just would like to know. Right. Just get a little more information. That does strengthen your argument, though.
We got data.
You brought up with the squeaky earth.
We got
it is magnified.
Yeah, we got data. The same height above the water, one around 12 miles, and the other one is 18 or so, like around 18. So let's say 12 miles and 18 miles in the same height above the water.
So Black Swan, right? We shouldn't see any of that fucker, should we? 18 miles? That's a few hundred feet, ain't it?
I'm not sure, but same height above the water. I don't know if it's 20 feet, 30 feet, 1 feet, 100 feet above the water. It's the same height above the water. The thing is that just with the distance, with adding a couple extra miles, it just made the bottom disappear.
Yeah, I'd have to. Some days we'll get that even without changing. But yeah, to really be serious, I don't want to go overboard with what I'm seeing and make a wild claim. So I would like to know, a little more information on the Eddie Magnet.
Before big shout out to Biggest Douglas because he hit me up with 666 via PayPal. Hell yeah, man! Thank you for the support, brother. And I say I would do the ritual for the next boom. Rumpus, rumpus, rumpus. Shout out to Biggest Douglas, the summoning ritual. Appreciate that, guys. What are your thoughts on Brian on explanation on this clip right here? I'll mute myself.
I think you're kind of just running away from what's actually going on. I mean,
well, I'm just kind of pleading the fifth. I'm not really running away. I'm just trying to get some more information. But I mean, it's just weird. I need to know because look how that water comes up like that. And
yeah, it's curvature, man. What else could it be?
No. I hate this example. This example is disingenuous and shit.
Oh shit!
Oh, come on.
I'm not pulling a flat earther here.
Last detail: 30 to 35 feet above the water. That's the height. No, but go ahead. I want to hear your point. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So my point is this: the damning thing is not that the water is in front of the fucking lighthouse. It isn't. The damning thing is that the height of the lighthouse in the distance has changed along with the detail in the image. What you don't see here is that the second image, the one where you can see the light, if the camera hasn't changed, it would be significantly higher in the frame. Not only would it be significantly higher in the frame, we can then see that everything's blurred and there's no detail.
I thought you would say that. Yeah.
And it's been raised up. I don't like examples like that.
So it's been raised up. Are you saying it's been raised up or is it magnified?
It actually has. I hate this example because it looks like the water's been raised. The water in that right-hand one has been, they've centered it on the thing that's moving in the frame due to refraction, and that's ridiculous.
Once again, that's why we need a theodolite because we need to double check the angles on compared images and on Black Swan days. I think we can get a little more enlightenment, man.
This is good, StingRay. Thank you, because I was thinking before you spoke, when you just the first few words, I understand because it's not the water that is rising up; it's the object. When we see the tippy top, is actually dropping down the what we see, in the level of the eye. It's actually lower, right? So if this overlapping will be made, the surface of the water would have been in the same height that at the end of this horizon. Well, maybe a little higher because you got to find the middle of the screen.
Yeah,
but you got then where you see the tippy top, you got to lower it.
Yeah, it's just a wrong impression. This gives the impression to someone that the transient factor in this photograph is the water. It isn't. The most transient thing, as in the thing that moves the most, is the lighthouse.
But in that comparison, hold on, StingRay, in that comparison, it is most definitely the water because the lighthouse is staying the same.
That's because of the crop, Brian. I promise you, the lighthouse is the thing that's moved. They've just centered the crop around the lighthouse.
Then they had to enlarge it, and if they enlarged it, why wouldn't I'm just having a hard time with that, man. That is a bad representation, man.
Well, all they did was have the lighthouse just overlay it. That's all they did.
It's one of their tricks.
But the point is, we can see that from on a good clear day. We can see that 18-mile shot look just like that 12-mile shot with the water down lower from 1 foot on a day that y'all call, extreme refraction. To me, I call that, I think we always have refraction going on, and then some days we catch a day where you just a little bit of refraction where just the arm is bending down on the black swan. But like I said, Gary, in their model, the black swan, the arm that's bending down is the only thing in the correct place, and the whole image is refracting, except that fire boom.
It's not true.
Yeah, but this is good. You gave me a good idea. If I got a few images, where I got that and I kind of overlap them, I'm gonna attempt that overlay them that way. Because a lot of people haven't done that, or haven't done that to keep the surface of the water in the same height, and then just the object in the background. Like this is what you should see. This is what is seen in a control image, and then this is my observation, and you see the object, boom, dropping down under the water, big time. Fucking hey, that's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't think I have one.
All the single ladies. Big shout out to everybody in YouTube chat box. We got 40 plus people watching, almost 50 people here. Thank you for checking in. We got a very entertaining, diverse panel today. We're talking about perspective and some observations. Brian Leake is in the house. The StingRay Big Blue is quiet over here. He's waiting where he's gonna hit the spot. Earth is live. Brufus, Farmer's Boy, Fred. Gary Wevenga is here. We just kind of heard a little bit of him. Hopefully he got off work and he got time to engage with us. We got Grubus, left lane. Marble Merman. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Matt M2M, Merv 63, paying us a shield, and a very, very expert person with us. And everybody in YouTube chat, please hit that like, and I appreciate your support. And if you can support, you can do it via PayPal or Super Chat. Your question,
and as always, we have Jose J.G. Gonzalez.
And I'm here in the house. Always happy to give you guys a place to come in, hang out, and talk about the topics that we are interested in. Have fun and learn in the process. Boom.
So I've kind of made this sort of the same image. Took a day where I was really close to those buildings, and I took a picture, and then I overlaid it onto one of my other pictures, and it pretty much does the same effect.
Okay. I got you. Oh, this one is, yeah, I'll switch screen share, but you guys not that. If you're watching my screen share, you don't have to do anything. It will just change automatically, and that's Earth is live.
Man, I love looking at all these humps, man.
And remember,
the water stays down, where the water's down low, and then the water comes up like a big old hump. So there's a hump in the way, right?
I know. It's almost like it's curving, right? Almost like it's curving.
It's a hump of Earth, though, right? In the way.
No, it's not. No, it's not a hump. No, just curvature. There's no hump.
Well, you're showing humps.
Brian. If you agree with the following statement, I'll agree with you that it's a hump. So the following statement is: a snooker ball is made of many humps.
That's a good one. No, but I'm just saying that you got to at least give me this, StingRay. The examples they're showing the buildings at the same damn height, and they're showing no hump and then a hump. I mean,
there's no hump, Brian.
Point is, we can see all this at the same distance. We can see all this stuff without changing distance.
A hump would mean a difference in elevation, right?
Any of that would mean a difference in elevation, man. Like I said, I have trouble, man. The reason I understand all the globe arguments. There's some good explanations. A lot of them sound like excuses, but most of them are very good explanations for certain phenomenon. But you know, it just all comes back to the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge. Like if I'm 20 miles away out in Pontchartrain looking at the bridge sideways from a distance, on a ball earth, if you told me to build that bridge flat, it's going to be protruding up, you know, 70 feet or 60 feet on each end. It's going to be coming up out of the water, and that to me, that you have to see that as a straight line. And it's just not gonna be, man. I have trouble getting past that image, man, of what a straight line would look like on a globe, and that's have to be what it is, according to Jesse Kozlowski. It's going to be coming up, no matter how gradual. It's going to be coming up out of the water on either end, and at the ends, it's going to be about 60 feet above the water.
Brian,
the chord that goes to the foot of whatever you're observing.
Brian, I made a straight line. I took a theodolite out there. If you look at my image, the building on the left, the short building on the left, that's 15 stories. When I took my theodolite, my water level out there, the crosshairs were touching the top of that building.
Yeah. So hump day. You caught a hump day.
No.
What? no. There is this. I missed this one earlier this live, and I want to shout out. I heard Lemon over here. Welcome to the show. Now these two images. You are in the same spot, same location, not changing zooming, but we got this image of this full cargo container or whatever, cargo boat, cargo vessel, ship. And then this is further away. You want to tell us about this?
Yep. So yeah, I took this one when I was in hotel on the 23rd floor. It's actually a video, but since I had a crappy
screen caps,
I had a crappy tripod. It wouldn't stay, so I just took clips of the video. So yep.
What I recommend you do is take 1/6 of that boat. Just pick a section that you can distinguish, or either catch a day you could do this, and watch it as it goes off, and pick the 1/6 top of that boat. Watch as it goes away. That 1/6 will always stay the same ratio above that water. It's funny. It's a damnedest thing, man. And no matter how small it gets, but the bottom does disappear. But the 1/6, it'll still keep that same ratio above the water as that 1/6 little area shrinks in the distance. It's got to be flat.
The cool thing about this is that I'm not down on the shore. I'm actually a few hundred feet up in the air, and we're still getting obstruction by the water.
All right, we got a super chat time. Quickly to John Rapp. This is the first super chat today. I actually got a few PayPal support, but first super chat is $5 Australian. Gary, have you got a good brand of butt hot burn cream? Earth is life. Really handed you ass this morning. My time. Well done, people.
Not at all. It was actually hilarious. I'm going to make another video.
Oh shit!
It was hilarious.
I can't wait.
D-Ball has got to be one of the dumbest of all of you for now.
Right.
He rivals with Sean. He does. It's so silly.
Burn cream for the butt hurt. Burn it.
For a guy who thinks that Polaris is closer than the moon, come on now.
I've never said that. I have never once said that. You can't name any place where I did it or show it. You made that up. You literally made that up because you are a big liar. That's what you do. That's straw man. We'll just make something up and make Gary defend it.
So let's not play that game. He talks over you as well.
Because I never said that, and he knows I never said that. But he just made it up, and he created a straw man. Now I got to supposedly defend a straw man? That's bullshit.
Let me attempt to do something. Let me attempt to calm the water just a little bit. Today, we have Brian. You guys know when Brian Leak is here, we lose our shit sometimes. But it's been cool, good conversation. I mean, we can continue doing this without personal attacks, personal insults. Have a little bit of fun if you want to talk and like, oh my god, you dumb, you moron. But let's not stick into the topic. Let's try to talk about the meat. And just throw the bone away, Just throw the personal issues away, and let's try to talk about the topics over here.
I'm sorry.
So you drew a diagram saying that the angles to Polaris they're not parallel, right? but you should have said, "Hey, this diagram is not to scale, right?" But you drew it.
Where did I say
really
it was?
Hold
and
on,
where did I
done.
say that? And where did I say the moon was lower than or Polaris was lower than the moon? Tell everybody here where I said that.
I'm gonna finish what I'm saying.
No, he just made it up. He can't.
Okay,
he can't show because I never said it.
Let him finish.
You drew the diagram with Polaris really, really close to the Earth, right? And then you said, "Oh well, the angles wouldn't match because Polaris is really big." Isn't that what you said?
He did.
Does that sound like I said that Polaris is closer than the moon? I still haven't heard that.
He didn't say that.
Come on now. No, he did say that just a minute ago.
No, he didn't.
Oh God, Jose, you heard him say it. You heard him say it on the show just like a minute or two ago.
He never said. He never said. No,
he said that Gary said that Polaris is lower than the moon. You want me to clip it out?
You said closer just a minute ago, Gary. Well, you're making things up again.
I didn't say closer.
Okay,
I said the moon is closer than Polaris.
Hold on.
He says that I said that Polaris is closer than the moon.
When you drew so when you drew the diagram, what was your intention?
To show that Polaris is much bigger in your model than the Earth, so that your angles would have a huge variation from any point on the Earth. Sure they would.
Sure
they would. Because you could draw all those angles and any one of those could hit a point on that Polaris if it's as big as you claim.
Gary, how far away is it though?
Okay, B-Ball, I will not talk to you until you tell everybody where I said Polaris is closer to the moon. When you can clip that, then I'll talk to you again. No. So I didn't say it, right? I never said anything like that, right?
You didn't say it, but that's what you drew.
So you lied. You just told everybody you lied.
Okay.
Right, now answer the question.
You didn't say it.
No. I want him clearly to tell everybody he made that part up. I didn't say that.
Gary,
deflection.
Okay, but what are you trying to deflect?
No, I'm not going to let him get away with it. He's going to say that Gary never said Polaris is closer than the moon.
You guys can
say it, or I won't deal with him.
You guys can do this via your back and forth.
He can't say it. He can't say it because he knows I never said it. He made it up. He created a straw man because that's all he has.
Gary, your diagram was a straw man.
No, my diagram wasn't. Now tell everybody here where I said Polaris was closer than the moon.
Oh, shut up about that, man. Jesus Christ.
That's what your diagram
okay. I'll take that as an admission. You lied. You lied. You told everybody on here I did, but now you lied.
Why are you blocking people from talking, Gary, all the time, every single time?
Jose, you heard him say it earlier just minutes ago.
It doesn't matter, but you're still blocking him from talking.
He lied, said I said something, and now he wants me to defend him.
Shut up, Gary.
Because he told you lie, whatever you think it is. Does that give you all the power to just keep talking over him and mute him every time he talks? That's not fair. If you're accusing him of something, at least let him speak, but you keep interrupting him. I'm talking to Gary because I hope he's still listening, even though he rage quit because I had to mute him so I can say this,
He's rage quit, yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that,
he knows Earth's life has actually caught him out on something because he doesn't understand scale. That's why. So he's bitch quit. That's why.
It's only fair. He's doing an accusation, but let people respond without interruption. It's not hard to do. You can have a back and forth, but right now, Brian Leake, if he'll be interrupting me and just not letting me talk, that will piss the fuck out of anybody. I mean, it's just not fair.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same token, B-Ball could have just simply said, "Hey, okay, I implied it," and that was childish on both parts, I have to say.
All right, I gotta do a quick shout out over here to Anamorphic Mind with a 666 super chat. Thank you, Anamorphic Mind. Brian Leake, this message is for you. If you are going to troll responsibly. Shout out to Anamorphic Mind.
Hey.
Hold on 1 second.
Hey, is Lemon still here?
Hey. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up the point that I made earlier and get your thoughts on it. Because,
actually, I want to do this. I want to talk to everybody over here in the call, and I am going to go on mute, and I hope to see everybody muted. And if you are not muted here, that means that you got your own mute button on your microphone on your end. So let's all stay on mute. Let Brian and Lemon Bear talk for a few minutes because I want to hear them, this explanation. Whatever they're going to talk, I want to pay attention and I don't want interruptions. So please, no interruptions. Go ahead, guys. Right.
All right, two things. I'll try and make them quick. But I had them bring up the Black Swan earlier, and because they say that is extreme refraction, and my point was that that we always have refraction, and on a day like that, we have less refraction. We can see further, and the point that I've used to back that up is the fact that the fire boom, that one crane arm, is lower. So in their model, the whole picture is higher than it's supposed to be. In other words, the whole picture is refracted up, but that one little arm is the unrefracted part. That one arm is in the proper position or closer to its proper position, but the whole rest of the photo is up higher. And to me, that's not logical. To me, it's the arm that's refracting, and you see it bent down. It's out of position. It's not closer to its regular position. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the way that they're implying that you have some sort of duplicated refracted image that's above the actual object that's being hidden by Earth curve is a little ridiculous. I mean, just because refraction occurs doesn't mean that it's enough to lift an image and duplicate it on top of the original that's hidden, somewhere under the Earth curve. It could just be simply magnified or distorted right in front of your face over a flat plane. And so what they're trying to imply that just because refraction occurs, that our ball model is adequate and allows for an image to be lifted over a hump of Earth curve to your eyes and allow you to effectively see further than you normally would. It's just ridiculous.
Right. So in that image, they have to agree that there's multiple refraction. In other words, the water in the background is refracting up, and it's at a rate or whatever, and that arm is refracting down, and it moves around in the picture. But to me, it's obvious that, and what B-Ball was just showing, and Perspective had showed one to post, and they're just showing a hump. The buildings are in the same spot, and the only thing changing is the horizon. If the Black Swan does anything, it proves that the horizon it moves around. It's easy. I don't think anybody would deny that the horizon moves up and down. It moves around. It doesn't necessarily have to be Earth curve, does it?
Well, I mean, I think of diffraction limit making stuff appear to be obstructed bottom up, but really it's right there over the flat plane. Refraction in the model, or the theory that I would go with for what, if anything's happening with refraction, is making things pop out of this diffraction limited horizon like a balloon, or diminish into the horizon, but not lifting the image over some sort of obstruction. And so unless I see the original and the duplicated refracted mirage image, I think that their assumption that it's being lifted and duplicated into the air over a ball hump of Earth curvature is just absurd.
Yeah, so they have to have refraction going on differently in different locations. But when we try to bring up like proximate looming, for lack of better words, that the water's looming upwards, I think Pebbles on the Pond, not Pebbles on the Pond, but God, who's the other, the couple that does a lot of experiments? They showed that local, items in the heat of day tend to loom up more than things in the distance. So what I was telling them is I think we need to get a theodolite and put theodolites to some of these images, like the Black Swan on days like that, or on video on images that we try to match up. We need 2 theodolite images to get clarity to it, man. I think they'd be disappointed if we did that, man. I don't know if you're talking, Lemon, but you cut out. I don't hear you if you are.
Refraction does occur, but we need to see if it's making stuff balloon out of the horizon over a flat plane while it's still right in front of your face, or if it's, as the Globers are trying to imply, that it's lifting the image over the ball. They appear to be writing themselves a blank check with any amount of refraction necessary to explain away the inconsistencies of the globe model, where we're not seeing this hump of Earth curve that's in the way of what's in the distance at a predictable rate. And so at that point, we need to look to new models, something flatter, something a bit more planar, if you will.
I think it's more likely to even be concave than a ball, but I think it's likely a level plane, man. It's hard to prove. I will admit that.
Well, what's his name said it looked like a disc with upturned edge, I guess Picard, but water appears to lie flat and level based off of the way that it flows and comes to rest with a flat top on the top of the water. And so if water tends to affect a flat surface, and most of the Earth is water, well then by logical extension, most of the Earth is more than likely flat.
Yeah, and one other point I made, I think right before you joined, was like even they have some good arguments, some good explanations. I think some of them sound like excuses, like with the eclipse. You know, I was going to say the salmonella eclipse, but where the moon and the sun are both above the horizon. But most of their explanations are at least feasible and whatnot. But the one thing that won't let me, completely see eye to eye with Glovers is the fact is it brings me back to Pontchartrain. If I was 20 miles away out looking from the side on that, if you told me to build that bridge flat from the center to each end would have to be protruding up out of the water like 50 or 60 feet. It'd have to, no matter how gradual, it would have to be slowly coming up out of the water on each end, and that would have to be recognized as a straight line, and that's just not what water does. That water's flat. What we would see is a bridge rising up on each end and with flat water, but their model dictates the opposite.
I've yet to see the sun and the moon above the horizon at the same time. I haven't seen it.
It's been a while since I talked about that, man. What's that called again?
So what you say, Brian?
What is that called again?
Selenium, whatever eclipse.
Selenelium, right.
The Selenium eclipse, yes.
I see them say we see the moon, we see the sun rising, yes, not the sun and the moon above the horizon.
In the Selene-Dianellian eclipse, you see the sun and the moon above the horizon. That's why they call it the impossible eclipse.
Show me.
Yeah, so that doesn't go with your model.
Model. I want to see the sun and the moon at the same time above the horizon.
You want to see the Selene-Dianellian eclipse? You can YouTube it.
I have, and they don't.
The Selene-Dion eclipse is known.
They do not
Selene-Dion eclipse. Selene-Dion eclipse. Okay, that's a good one.
I'm your lady, and you are my man. Sorry, I had to do that.
That's awesome. No, that was awesome.
Whenever you reach for me.
Hey, can I say something really quick?
That was
all that I can.
Hey Gary,
That's good enough.
Hold on. Hey Gary, if you're listening, come on back in. Let's have a chat about this. I've been really wanting to have this discussion.
But I do have a few questions, if that's okay, to both Brian and Lemon, if that's okay.
Good with me.
Yeah, I just want to say that the StingRay screen is up. I've been presenting him for a while as you guys were talking. But you
wants to go.
No. You go ahead first if you got a couple points, and then StingRay can go ahead.
Fair. Okay, Brian. The first question I have to ask you is: you admitted you were acting pretty childish a few minutes ago, correct? You admitted you were wrong about being a child right there, correct? Brian? Yes. You know what?
We didn't hear you. Yeah, we.
Oh, maybe it's my mic. My mic's kind of messed up. Why don't you?
It's okay.
I can hear you.
Go to StingRay. I'll just go to StingRay. I'll fix my mic. I'll be right back.
I can hear you.
He might have a problem with the microphone, but Lemon is listening. I know he is.
Okay, and then Lemon, my question to you is: what model would be perfect? Because the models that all flat earthers have tried to prove don't make sense. And
modeling the sun and the moon or this?
I'm not good at science, but even to me, a flat earth just makes no sense. That's just me.
I'd go with the sun and the moon being eclipsed over a flat plane without the Earth being in the way to cause any eclipsing. For the Selene Dianellian eclipse, some other dark body is getting in front of the moon because for the globe, the angles don't match up for an eclipse to occur. The sun, the Earth, and the moon would have to be lined up like billiard balls, and you'd see either the sun or the moon above the horizon, but not both. And so since the angles don't match for the eclipse, even though no model is perfect, I'm dropping the globe model. I'm going to go with something flatter with some sort of other dark body or some sort of other dark star eclipsing the moon or something else other than the flat, motionless Earth.
But we have predicted eclipses. We can understand when eclipses can happen.
By the Saros cycle. That's a general pattern that can be superimposed onto whatever you like.
No, we've proven it for a long time.
No, don't say no. It is the Saros cycle. There is a cycle, and it's every 18 years. Been since the Mayans, okay? And it's an 18-year cycle. What's an 18-year cycle in the heliocentric model? What goes around every 18 years? What is it? An 18-year wobble or something? I mean,
again, I would have to look it up, but again, I will say this one more time. I'm not the greatest person on science, but I can at least understand the basics of around Earth. I mean, I even did recently the Eratosthenes test, and guess what? It proved a freaking, sorry, I don't mean to cuss, a round Earth. I've done the basic experiments.
Well, the Eratosthenes thing is a little useless because you have to assume it's a ball in the first place. Otherwise, Eratosthenes is useless.
No, you don't.
You have to assume it's a ball. Otherwise, the shadows that you make don't tell you anything.
Let's try not to do that. Now is my time to say we cannot. Yeah, but we cannot interrupt with the no, you not, because he's very interruptive and it will drag. It will keep dragging more and more because it happens. I do that when somebody keeps trying to interrupt me. I just keep going and going, just for the hell of it, just to piss the other person off. Let's try not to interrupt with.
I'd like to make a quick point, then, Jose.
But I just want to read this. I want to read a quick comment by Jomongus. He sent me a $10 PayPal. Thank you, Jomongus. I appreciate your support, man. And I read and I quote. Now, in this comment, everything that I'm going to read before the PS, everything that I'm going to read now is undebunkable. This is true. This is fact. Written by Jomongus, and I quote, Jose, I am honored to be in the presence of the greatness, Brian Leakey, who debunked photosynthesis, and Lemon, who has redefined optics. Forget Einstein and Feynman. What did I know? Let us bask in the glow that is flat Earth. That is a fact. Now, PS, and I think this can be debunked in real time. I wish farmers could have stayed up for this, but it's late in the UK.
Yeah, I don't know about talking photosynthesis, but it's okay to question things.
I heard you debunked. I heard Farmer's Boy. That's a debunk. Last part of the claim. Thank you for your support.
It's not that late, and I'm still here.
The point I'd like to make was that that guy had that jar, that plant in an airtight jar for like over 60 years, and that kind of goes against the fact it's oxygen. But anyway, I was kind of bringing up Peter and Pete. They made some good arguments. It's okay to question things. Let me bring up a point real quick. As far as the eclipses on a heliocentric model, the 2017 eclipse, NASA they wrote an article because the moon it lasted too long, so it didn't work in their model. So they're having to say that the sun is almost an extra 10 million miles away, but it kind of went away. But according to the math, the sun would have had to have been 10 million miles further away, because the math don't work in the heliocentric model. It doesn't line up. The eclipses last too long. So either the sun is further, which means they have to readjust everything. There's little problems when it comes to the moon. The moon is a deal breaker for every model, even a heliocentric. It doesn't work out perfect, like that guy was stating.
I would love a citation on that, Brian, because I'm incredibly interested in it. But just before these points are lost, Brian, I've got an example up right now. This is refraction.
Go ahead, StingRay.
So the one thing that you said, Brian, because there's a few things. So first of all, Celine Dion, or the Celine Dion eclipse. If you stand at the top of a snooker ball, do you think you will be able to see the other snooker balls on the table all around you? The answer is yes. End of. Now, even given the slight amount of atmospheric refraction, which could bend like 0.1 degree, you'd just see more of it. So is it possible for one snooker ball to shade another snooker ball when you're stood on a middle one and still see both of them? Absolutely.
Good try.
On their distances. Now, the second thing that I want to say is a Ceres cycle. Yes, you can do things statistically based off data and then extrapolate. Extrapolate. There is a difference.
Good try, StingRay. But let me respond to your first point. Hey, before you make the second point, let me respond to the first one with a quick comment. I'd say good try, but when the shadow came in, it came in from the top. So on your snooker ball table, I could see the other balls, but show me the shadow coming in from the top with the balls in the distance. Okay, so
I've actually done this live.
Model, but there's no getting around it.
No, Brian, I've actually done this live before on, I think, Terry's show for someone with exactly the same argument. I did it live and said, hey, look, here you go. It works. And I did it with the correct distances. So I'm 100% confident it works. I'll put it into my model. I'll put it into my model for next time and I'll show you. But
you can have parallel sun rays and shadows coming in from the top.
Absolutely. I'll show you it, Brian. I promise you, Brian and Lemon, I will show you it. It's not hard. It's just that you guys don't understand scale and distance. I've done it before. I just don't have that model to hand because I ditched.
I don't understand. That's your answer.
Now I will show you. I promise you. You know that I will, and I'll build it into my my Earth model. Now, second thing, I was talking about extrapolation, data extrapolation. If I have many sets of data, I can extrapolate them over, if time is the variable there, to actually make predictions. I absolutely can. But the one thing that the Ceres cycle fails on is accuracy and position for totality. Utterly fails. Read the information on it. In the first paragraph, it'll say, hey, this was used, but it's totally
depends on your map, bud. It depends on the map you apply it to, man.
Fine, nearly done. The difference between data statistical extrapolation with very shit data from back then and a model that's based on ecliptics and orbits that doesn't use historical data and is that accurate that you can wind back time and have a look for when an eclipse had totality that you didn't know about, to look at civilizations at the time on that around that date and realize that they had like magical events happen where there was no light. And discoveries have been made that way, not with statistical data and extrapolation, but with models, distances, sizes, ecliptics, orbits. Now,
yeah, but what's the 18-year cycle in heliocentric model? We have the cycle of the planets orbiting. We have cycles of the moon. We have cycles of the sun and the galaxy. All that. Yeah. There's no 18-year cycle. What are you calling that? A wobble or some shit?
No. It's just ecliptic offsets of the moon. The moon's offset to the ecliptic plane, and its orbit is obviously offset. It will cycle, but it cycles with offsets, and it's not exact. It's not like one revolution around the sun equals exactly this many orbits of the moon around the Earth, and that the ecliptic plane of the moon is always at this. It's slightly offset, and it processes.
It's exact enough to call it a cycle, though, StingRay. It is exactly enough to call it a cycle.
Like I say, the model works 100%. Brian, I would love NASA. I'd love a citation on that NASA thing, because I honestly would be really interested that they got it so wrong, given the fact that I think even I could predict it. Now, the last thing is going all the way back to the start. You said that arm on the Black Swan is the thing that's moved. No, absolutely not. The whole fucking thing has moved, and it's compressed, and it's distorted. And
yeah, but the arm is closer to its original position, though, correct?
Please let me finish. You can see that by the fact that when you look at the decks and you take the survey data and you say, well, this deck is X amount high, this boom is X amount long, what I can do is compare the two. The shit doesn't fucking match on the Black Swan, it does on the image below. And that's very easy for even a child to do. And I'm done, cheers.
But the arm is closer to its position, its actual position, right?
Oh, by the way, Brian, if you're just looking at this, no, incorrect. All of it is equally offset, but just with variance. Now have a look at this. This is refraction, and I'm going to show you. This is your flat Earth. Well, one of these is your flat Earth postulation. So what I've got here is I've got curved with refraction, I've got flat with standard atmospheric refraction, and then I've got flat with your refraction. So here, these represent layers in the atmosphere, and we can see that the curved surface and the refraction that's happening here is making it look flat. That's what's happening. So the more bendy light at the back would make it more and more distorted, but I haven't done that in this yet. Now, if we move across to this one, this is flat Earth with standard atmospheric refraction and how it would look. You can see how it actually raises things up, and it's kind of concave Earth. Then we've got flat Earth with an atmosphere that's been inverted. Now, the atmosphere that's been inverted drops things down and presents as a curve that's dropping away from you. So this is your postulation, by the way. This is what you say that's happening. Unfortunately, the science of the atmosphere and refraction are going against you in this one, but I wish you luck.
If you can model this equation, man, 90 minus A over D times point A. And so every angle, you want to subtract it by 90 and divide it by the distance, and then take that. It's a ratio formula, and it's a refraction model. It's pretty damn close, man. It's,
crap. Wait a minute. Sorry, I've just thought of one other thing. Sorry, these things are coming to me. Last point, and then I'm done. This is actually more to you, Brian, and a little bit to Lemon, because you both use the fucking thing. The diffraction limit of a camera lens is based on the aperture. All you need to do, and it's only at the extreme end. So, like, let's say f22, if you know what that means, that's the tightest type of aperture. All you need to do is drop it back to f16, no lens diffraction. Hey, presto, there you go. Stop using it. I'm done.
There's a question over here by Al K, if I can ask it really quick. Al K say, ask Brian to bring up the Saros table now and give an example of exact location on Earth and time taken, length of totality, etc. of any eclipse.
I made a video on it, man, but I'm not that versed in it, but I did look it over, and it was pretty interesting. But I'm to the understanding that it depends on what map you apply it to. So if I'm going to apply it to the Mercator, then it's not going to match, say, the Gall Peters or something. It depends on what. But it is a cycle. He said it wasn't exact. It's exact enough to call it a cycle anyway.
Project an eclipse,
we know that.
Globes and balls. If Al K can do that, great. Otherwise, he's just invoking whatever they say
I did that.
as to how they predict eclipses. They could be doing anything at that point, and we're just taking their word for it.
You give me a date for eclipse that happened in the past. I'll show you where it happened.
Oh, there was a little bit of a glitch in there.
Yeah, I lost him. I didn't even hear his question all the way.
Southern Israelite states pretty accurately that there are no absolute points or positions in space in the highly relativistic heliocentric model. Without absolute points in space, you have no lines. And after that, you have no prediction. So based off of the way the heliocentric model is constructed with a black vacuum of space with no absolute positions of any sort, there aren't any preconditions for any predictability at all. You need absolute positions. You need something to remain fast and fixed in space. Otherwise, you have no predictive power. So I think all we're getting is a bunch of rhetoric with no substance about what, if anything, the heliocentric model is doing.
So there's not really a line of sight. It's just an imaginary line of sight. So that means you can't see.
Where are the absolute positions in space? According
to
Lemon,
it's not about absolute positions.
You ask them, space is a vacuum with no substance and no position. So how are there preconditions for any sort of predictability with that sort of situation? There are none.
Lemon, you do not need physical matter to actually define a coordinate system or an origin. Now, the distance, forget what we say it is. Between the sun and the Earth, or between the Earth and the moon, exists a center point. I can literally say, well, if I know the distance, I know the straight line vector, I'll center a coordinate system at that center point and use it as meters. I can then do everything relative to that, or I can center it on my location here on Earth. So long as I can measure, I can have a coordinate system anywhere. The fact that physical matter wouldn't exist is irrelevant to space. And I'm not talking about outer space, I'm talking about volume. Done.
But what is going to ground your mental abstraction and your imaginative coordinate system in reality? You're going to need something to ground it. Otherwise, you could be having some sort of random flight of fancy that goes nowhere. So I think the objection still holds. The preconditions aren't there for the heliocentric model to predict, well, anything, not without points, not without some sort of absolute position, not without dropping relativity at the very least, which says that everything's relative to everything else and nothing's absolute.
Lemon, you have seen my exact path of the sun for any location and any month on the Earth just using balls, right? And the fact that it's incredibly accurate all the time without question. You have seen that, right? All I have to do is rotate the ball and change the month, which actually alters its position on the ecliptic, and then everything works. I can tell you at any point through daylight hours the exact path of the sun through.
Can you do the Celine Dion eclipse?
Oh no, I will do next time. I've not put the moon orbits in there, but next time absolutely it will. But you do know that I can predict that right in just using the survey data, distance, size, angle of things, and it's 100% accurate. Doesn't fail. You know that,
Really?
right?
I never heard of that before. That actually sounds pretty badass, actually.
I shall bring it right. I'll bring it up right now for the audience.
Well, that would be great. I would actually love to see that.
Screen share again?
Give me 2 seconds.
Hey, hello everybody.
Hey.
I'd just like to point out, I was listening on YouTube, and I would like to point out that my house is in a specific location in space. Not in outer space, but in space. And that location never changes. The Earth may rotate, but the position of my house stays exactly where it's at. Its geolocation is exactly the same, even though the Earth rotates and moves around the sun.
Big shout out to 57 people on YouTube watching right now. And how many people over here? 19? 18? I'm not even seeing. A bunch of people over here on Discord. Thank you very much, everybody. And we have StingRay up on screen. The world is watching, StingRay.
Oh my God. So 1st of March, here we go. And this is how crap living in the United Kingdom is. To actually predict the exact path of the sun through my sky, all I need to do is rotate the beautiful sphere. And it tells me how high the sun's going to be and its path. And there we go. And that's why I can't have nice things like solar panels. Well, I can, but they have to be very angled up like a bastard. It's not good. But yes, this works for anybody, anywhere, all the time. It predicts the Terminator lines. It does everything. I've been trying for so long to get it to fail. And I will do that eclipse for you as well, Brian and Lemon. I absolutely will. I'll add this to this model.
That's actually amazing. Well, that's pretty accurate.
To be honest, it's just a ball with a 23.5 degree rotation and an infinite, well, not an infinite sun, but a 96 million mile sun at the size that it's supposed to be. And all I do is rotate the ball. It's not that amazing.
Well, for me it is, to be honest.
No, my ISS thing is going to be amazing. But yeah, all I need is someone's lat long, and we'll test it. We'll see if it works.
Just want to welcome two new people over here. We got Quantum Chicken in YouTube chat. I am new. I hope you are also new. Please have fun in YouTube. And big shout out to a new person that just joined us on Discord, and this person need to send me a direct message or one other moderator so he can have roles. Shout out to Huge Janus just join us on Discord. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Are you any relation to Hugh Jars?
Maybe no. The Ars and Janus are different last names. We got Hugh Jars and Hugh Janus.
Yeah. Did Brian leave? Are you still here, Brian?
Yeah, I'm here. I got my hands a little bit full, but I'm listening.
I just wanted to ask you about the. You said that 2017 eclipse. Was that the one in August 2017?
I forgot, man. I think that NASA took down their article too, man. But it has been recorded. I'm trying to find it.
If it's an eclipse, it's going to be easily found. So, I mean, just let me know exactly what day it happened.
I'm not talking about the eclipse. I'm talking about the article where they're saying that the sun. Here was the headline: the sun might be further than we had originally calculated, or whatever. The headline was something to that thing, but I can't find it. But it's because it was their explanation of why the eclipse lasted so long. It lasted like over half an hour, like between 30 and 40 minutes longer than it should have.
Which eclipse are you talking about then?
I believe it was the 2017 eclipse, man.
The August 21st, 2017?
You sound like you know just as much about it, sir. I'm not 100% sure, man. I'm not 100% sure which eclipse it was, but have you ever heard that claim? Haven't we talked about it before? About how it lasted too long for a heliocentric model?
I just need to know exactly which one. That way I can look into it. If it's the 21st of August, 2017. That's the only one that went across the United States that year.
Have you ever looked into the solar cycle by any chance?
Yeah, a little bit.
But by the way,
just like I'm sorry, go ahead, Jake.
The distance of the sun doesn't make the heliocentric model wrong. Maybe it changes its size.
But again,
it's all scale and variance. Like if you change the distance of the sun, you have to change all the orbits and everything. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily debunk the Earth being a ball. But
here's another thing, Brian. If you look at, I don't know whether you're still viewing my screen, Brian. It's on YouTube, but if you click on my stream, another thing that I've yet to find, and I'd love a flat earther to do the research, is find a sundial that works on a flat Earth without a sphere, a rotating sphere. Because throughout history, I've been looking for these flat Earth sundials.
Show me a sundial that works on a globe.
Yeah, this one right now.
You got to lay them completely flat, and they're flat disc. Show me a round sundial.
No, look right now on screen, the one that works in Chester, and I've got it in Chester in the UK, and it works absolutely fine.
I want to point out that sundials aren't large enough to take curvature of the Earth into consideration.
They actually do take into consideration it's a ball and there is an axial spin, though. Well,
I guess what I'm trying to say is the length of them. You could not measure the curvature of the Earth based on the length of a. There's not tools that could measure the length of the curvature of the Earth based off the length of a sundial. Sundials are not big enough, if that makes sense. Like they're 3 feet. How much curvature of the Earth is in 3 feet?
It's not that you'd want to measure curvature with it. It's that it doesn't work on a flat Earth, and it only works on a globe, and it only works at a location.
But
you need to know the latitude. Because
I understand.
You say that because it works in reality, but if your reality is flat Earth, then it works on a flat Earth, and it could never work on a ball.
Because the flat Earth is flat.
He just heard what you said. He said you say that because it works.
Yeah, but Brian, the important thing is the angle, and the angle that is required is based on your latitude because you have an offset to the axial rotation of the Earth, which is really important to be able to tell time. Even
so according to your ball, the sun works on a ball. That's genius, bro.
No, according
your
to
argument's the same. So what's your point?
Now, according to a sphere, a sundial works by rotating the sphere. According to a flat plane, the same sundial that we find evidence of in history, in our gardens, or that you can buy, never works on a flat Earth. Never.
That's because you can't really test it because the Earth isn't flat.
You can test it, Lyle. That's the thing. You can test it by laying it on a flat fucking surface and just having a light around it. It will never work. The progression of the sun, wait, let me just finish. The extents of the angles don't work. They absolutely don't.
They do with a simple little equation, man. A refraction model.
No, incorrect. Refraction is not lateral.
They don't work on your globe because if you look at the stars, you look at time.
They do work. You place them on the ground.
Everything. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. If you look at a time lapse of the sun, the moon, the stars, the further they get to the horizon, the more they start slowing down. It's not just a refraction toward the end. They progressively and you could time it and you could draw lines and see that they start slowing down and lingering as they get closer to the horizon. So even in your model, refraction would have to be completely consistent.
Let me just answer that, Brian. So that would be the prediction of the following. The closer you are to the equator, the more of that effect you will see. If you were at the North Pole, you would, and these are the actual true directions, by the way, you would not see it. And that's exactly what is predicted by a sphere and exactly what we see in reality. And the thing is, when you do the same thing on a flat Earth at the equator, the sun comes past you like a literal bat out of hell and then slows down in angular progression about 5 fucking times and never gets down to the horizon.
Just like an airplane does. Just like an airplane does. It looks like a space shuttle going straight up in the distance.
No.
So tell me what in reality goes away from us and doesn't drop, or what comes toward us above our heads and doesn't rise. I've asked this question before because airplanes do the same shit.
Well, what goes away and doesn't get what goes away and doesn't get smaller? That's another good question.
Hey, StingRay, I'd like to point out a flaw in his argument. On the flat Earth, it does this and that. You can't. The only way you can do stuff on a flat Earth is if you model it, because the Earth is not flat. You can model it in a 3D program, but the Earth itself is not flat.
Then you should be able to show me the curve, Lale. Y'all always go to the heavens. It's got to be the heaven, the sun, the stars. Show me the Earth curve. It should be measured, and we can't measure it. When we shoot a straight line, hold on. When I'm shooting a 2-mile straight line for a curve, anything lower than my anything lower than my flat baseline. Let me finish. Anything lower than my flat baseline that I'm laying out, it's called a slope. It's called drop. It's not Earth curve. Okay, so we don't measure it. You can calculate it.
I've got a question for you, Brian. Let's pretend for 1 second that we're away from this realm or this land that we're on, and we're on a huge spinning ball. And I come up to you and say to you, hey, this ball that we're on, I need you to measure curvature on it. Yeah? Can you explain to me how you would go about that?
Say that again.
So, we are somewhere else now, and we're on a planet the way that they describe. Let's say Mars, because Mars is a comparable size to Earth. And I want you to measure the curvature. We don't know the size of Mars, by the way. I've got no idea. But I want you to measure the curvature of this planet that is definitely a ball. How will you go about doing it?
Bro, you're in La La Land.
No. I'm saying, let's pretend.
I'll tell you how I do it. I'd lay out a straight line, okay? I'd do this here on Earth. Here on Earth, I'd go to a body of water.
Yep.
I'd lay out a straight line, and whatever however my line drops, any time I'm shooting through a transit, if the tape measure reads higher in feet, that means the ground's dropping. If it reads lower in feet, that means the ground's rising up. So despite what we model and despite refraction and all that, you got to tell me why the Earth.
I've got it.
Why I measure this Earth curve.
I've got it. So what would you use for your straight line?
I'd use an auto level or a water level, but in this case, you have to use an auto level, right?
Brilliant. So you would use an auto level to create this straight line. Yet when surveyors use an auto level and have to point it down at the horizon at the rate of curvature, you don't accept that at all. Why not?
Bro, you don't point an auto level down. That shows you have no idea what you're talking about on the
You measure the dip angle to the horizon. But on huge observations of known topology of the Earth, why do things act like they're on a curve? You even argue.
Bro, auto levels do not tilt up and down, bro. You don't know. I'm not going to try and make you look. I mean, look, auto levels don't tilt. All they do is level, line up, and see it, and just project a. It's like a scope.
So Brian,
it's a perfectly level scope. So all you can do is compare one. You can't. It doesn't tell you how high or low. Let me fucking finish, bro. For God's sake, it doesn't tell you how high or low you are. It compares elevation. So all I can do is compare one elevation to another. So all you can do is lay out a basic straight line. And any higher than that line, like I said, is higher in elevation. If the tape measure reads lower, then that ground is higher.
I get it, Ryan. So I'm gonna let B-Ball answer this one because I've got a question. It's really weird. How was B-Ball able to use an auto level and shoot a target that is so far above his head? It's utterly ridiculous. But the auto level was level. Weird, right?
Once again, show me something that going away from us doesn't drop down in reality.
Brian, this is exactly what you said you were going to do, right? Take an auto level out to the water and shoot over a distance and see if anything's dropping from that horizontal.
We need a theodolite. We need a theodolite. Auto level is not going to. We need a theodolite and take it out to the water like on a Black Swan day. Because if we're going to, it's not going to prove it one way or another, but it'll give us better clarity on what's going on Black Swan days or photo comparison days. Because what B-Ball just showed us, what B-Ball just showed us when he was showing that blink test, he showed us a hump, okay? What he showed us literally was a hump of water getting in the way from one picture and going away in the other. So if you're going to stand by on a hump of Earth in front of our eyes, then you're welcome to Flat Earth, people.
All right, I got a shout out to make. And it is to Mr. Victory's Radio for the big $5 super chat. Need more kitty videos. Hashtag the is a globe. Socket. The is a globe. Shout out to Mr. Victory Radio. Thank you very much. The Earth is a globe. That's the hashtag. The Earth.
I think what Chike posted, isn't that a theodolite?
No, that's an auto level.
Auto level? Okay.
Wave image.
So, I mean, with a theodolite...
B-Ball, hold on. Since you have an auto level, B-Ball, pick you a nice long stretch of coastline where you can work, okay? Just a few, 2 or 3 miles, okay? It'll take you about half a day, 4 hours, half a work day with a good helper, okay? And just pick you a good level height, say about 4 feet, 5 feet, and just lay markers out, okay? You're not going to get Earth curve. It's not going to show Earth curve. The water is going to remain flat. And the only excuse you could have is say that I'm turning around the Earth and I just don't know it. But I can lay out a straight line within pretty good margin of error to easily get Earth curve within 2 miles, 3 miles easily. And Brian, it's not there, bro. It's not there.
Brian, I don't have to do that. I set up my auto level. I know how to level an auto level. It's not that hard. And for some reason, the buildings in the distance which are higher than me are below that line.
That's not how you use an auto level, B-Ball. You go more than about, personally, I like to go about 75 feet to keep it accurate. If you want to keep it millimeter accurate, you got to be able to see the millimeter mark, bro.
Brian.
No, dude, you're trying to apply an auto level to Skunk Bay, basically, right?
Brian, I'm not trying to be millimeter accurate. If I was measuring for elevation, then yes, I would be millimeter accurate. But all I'm
so put an auto level on Skunk Bay, B-Ball. You're trying to look off in the distance, bro.
And see things that are at my eye level, and things that are taller than me that are below my eye level.
Why are we seeing that hump then? What describe that? How's that hump just appearing all of a sudden?
What hump? What hump? There is no hump.
When you're showing the blink test, you're showing the buildings in the same spot, and next thing you know, there's a hump in the way.
Man,
yeah,
it drops.
Farther away.
Yeah, the water drops away from you.
The water drops away from you. So the closer you get, the more the water drops, right? So that's perspective, right? The further away, the more the water rises up to eye level. But he's showing a hump in that blink test, literally.
Brian, hold on, stop. So let's say I was at the base of that building, right? And I took my auto level and I was looking at the building, which would be what, a few feet above the ground. Now let me back up. I don't know, 10, 15 miles. Do you think that auto level is going to be at the same elevation above the on the building?
Bro, you're showing that you have no idea what you're talking about. Bro, I'm not going to say this again. An auto level is not meant to see over distance. If we want to argue refraction, bro, take an auto level to Skunk Bay, and you'll see a mountain above your crosshairs, then below your crosshairs. In that distance, it's dropping 2 miles, okay? Auto level is not meant to look over distances, bro. If you use it correctly, the way it's prescribed, dude, you can't let me talk, can you? It'd kill you to let me fucking finish a sentence. Would it be, Bo? Let me finish my sentence, bro, and I'll hear your response, okay? Let me finish my response, please, and I'll hear your response. If you read up on the auto level and use it the way you're supposed to, you'll see that you don't go more than a couple hundred feet per shot.
Oh, great. Okay, let's read up on it. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something. So why is it that in manuals for these auto levels, there's a section for accounting for curvature and refraction?
Because you have to calculate it. It's not there. We don't measure it. You can calculate it in, B-Ball. Once again, hold on. Why are you scared to pick a body of water? Once again, you don't let me. You ask me a question, but you don't let me respond. Why don't you find your little level body of water just a couple miles long? You can use the coastline and try it. Are you scared to try it? You will not measure earth curve, bro, unless you look over long distances, and you'll see varying results, okay?
Unless I say that again, I won't measure earth curve.
If you use the tool your own way, as like a telescope or something, and look out miles and miles, okay, then you're going to be subject to whatever the atmosphere has to offer. That's not the way the tool is used, bro.
Again, Brian, why is it that in manuals there's a section for accounting for curvature?
Because you have to calculate. You don't count because once again, B-Ball, you have to calculate for it. We do not measure it. You want to bet money?
Why?
Would you like to bet money?
Why though?
Why?
If it's not there,
we don't measure it because it's not there. Because it's not there, bro.
But Brian, you're not listening. Why?
No. You need to respond to that point. Why don't we measure? Why don't we measure it? Why do we have to calculate it in? Why do we have to factor in earth curve?
Because if you don't, there's going to be an error. Error due to curvature.
No, there's not, bro. Then you're saying there's an error at every curve I lay out next to a highway over a freaking half a mile long. That there's an error.
You're only a player surveyor, Brian. Well,
what's your
player surveyor?
What? I do concrete, bro. So I survey all of our jobs. I've been doing it for 30 years. I'm not a surveyor.
Well, you don't. Okay, Brian. So you're great. You don't have to account for curvature, but over long distances you have to, because you'll have an error due to curvature, which is in every single manual that geodetic surveyors use.
B-Ball, Geodetic servers do not shoot for elevations, bro. It's separate and hard to get places. Geodetic surveyors do state lines and borders and latitudes and longitudes. They do right to left shit, okay? Jesse Kozlowski, dude, is misleading y'all. We don't do geodetic. We don't get every map you've ever looked at, every elevation map is not from geodetic surveyors, bro. They're from local, state, planar surveys. That's where you get your elevations from.
Mm-hmm. So again, I'm going to ask you again: why are the manuals incorrect? Hold on, Shai, come on. Are the manuals incorrect?
No, the manuals ain't incorrect. If you want to, listen, if you want to put in a curvature correction, okay, but in real life, you are going to stay flat. Your baseline is going to be flat with that body of water. Okay, if you want to add curvature corrections and say that it's curving, then you can calculate that in, bro, and you can model it even. Okay, you can model it, but in reality, I just recommend you try this one time before you knock it. In reality, we get a flat baseline, a flat line. It'll stay 4 feet. If you start at 4 feet above that water, I don't care if you go 100 miles, your tape measure is going to read 4 foot, 100 foot at a time.
So in this manual, the surveying instruments, right? This top con, this operator's manual right here. Why is there a section, page 27, distance calculation formula?
Because if you're modeling it up to a ball, you have to do curvature corrections, right?
Earth curvature correcting item. Why would that be in there if there's no curvature?
Because you're modeling it on a ball, right? I mean, you're asking me the same question over and over, bro. So please make this the last time. This is my last response. If you're going to model it onto a ball, B-ball, if you're going to model it onto a ball, then you have to make curvature corrections. In real life, that tape measure stays level because it's not there in real life, bro. Just try this before we argue, bro. Try this. Go find a body of water and do it, bro.
I've done it, Brian. So why would it be?
I know this is painful, bro. I know this is painful, but if you go out in real life, you bought an auto level. Now at least use it correctly.
You're fighting against. You're
fighting against. To restate the issue more clearly. So the issue is, if we do the long range measurements, we have to calculate curvature in. If we do the short range measurements, we don't. If we then double check the long, just 1 second, Brian Leakey, hold on, just 1 second. If we do,
you have no idea what you're talking about, bro.
Brian Leakey, just 1 second, hold on. If we do, Brian Leakey, hold on. If we do the long range measurements and compare the results with the short range measurements, we find the curvature corrected measurements are as accurate as the short range ones. Why do we have to do the curvature correction? That's the issue.
That's the question I've been trying to answer. Asking the whole time.
You've been dodging it the whole freaking time.
Well, I think that we have lost Brian Leakey. I didn't even have time to ask the audience: is Doofus Manfred gonna make Brian Leakey rage quit, or is he gonna lose it, like lose his shit? So I guess Brian Leakey have left the building. Is it a rage quit? Did he have problems with the phone? Who knows? I'm just going to leave that to you guys to determine and interpret that any way that you want. It's fun so far.
I just got to say this. My father, for over 30 plus years, worked in concrete and was a civil engineer. And even I understand what Brian... I mean, my father would probably lose his crap too listening to Brian, because he would tell him he's wrong. I think, Brian, you just got it wrong. If the manuals are correct, maybe you just have a little error in understanding the calculations. I mean, it happens to us all. I mean, sometimes we make mistakes.
It's because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to agree. He doesn't want to. You know, he's been in this argument for so long. To find out that he's wrong all the time, devastating.
Now that you're right.
All over. The evidence is. There's no escaping.
Right, and I agree with you. I mean, I might not be the greatest person in science or mathematics and all that, but as long as I got the most basic understanding of this, it's perfectly fine. I mean, Brian and most flat earthers are just making things so complicated, it's confusing. And it's not confusing. Just look at the calculations and even do the most basic ones. There you go. I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah. But I really wanted to... I really wanted to have a conversation with Brian about... I've been sending him DMs regarding the Qantas flight. And he's kind of been ignoring them. I really wanted to have a conversation about it. But it always gets lost.
To be fair, Brian always loses his shit all the time because he can't have a civil conversation. He'll literally go into
nuh-uh, 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 and you're wrong, bro. I mean, this is 2022. I mean, 1990s bro thing is kind of done. Okay, I'm 31 years old, and it's kind of even getting on my nerves. But that's just me personally. So
I kind of wanted to get to the part where he described how refraction makes a sundial work south of the equator. I wanted him to get to that part.
Let's remember, do you have ideas about the sundial and some of the questions that were asked there? If you want to jump in and participate a little bit, I appreciate
please, I want to hear this.
Most people from the flat Earth side that I've heard counter that the sundial only works on a flat surface because it appears to go in a circle around the gnomon of the sundial. On a flat surface, you'd expect it to go laterally, shorten and go lengthen laterally in more of a hemispheric fashion, but it seems to be more of a circle, like the sun is circling overhead, causing the shadow to go in a circular fashion over the sundial. So people counter that it's a flat Earth evidence of the flat Earth proponents.
If you mount a sundial on a flat surface locally, what you end up with is not a circle. It doesn't trace a circle. It traces a hyperbola, which, if people who are familiar with geometry will find out, that doesn't make sense for a sun that's circling in a path that's parallel to the ground.
And so by hyperbola, you're just saying that it goes past the halfway hemispheric, 180-degree axis of the sundial, which is what we tend to see with a circular object too. The sun circles around the sundial, and eventually it circles too far away for the shadow to be traced any longer. And so some people say that it's a flat Earth evidence there because of the circular path of the sundial on the flat Earth that goes past 180 degrees.
I put actually a pretty good.
Real quick, those shadows will be pointing in the wrong direction in Australia. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I put a diagram in the Daily Boom again. I think this is the second time I posted it, but the path that it traces is exactly a hyperbola. It's not about anything that's circular anywhere on there. The path that the sun appears to trace throughout the sky, it does follow a circle, but it's in a plane that's not parallel with the ground, which doesn't make any sense for a flat Earth.
I do have a question. This is just a very odd question. I don't if it's right or wrong, but wouldn't Stonehenge be like a perfect example of a sundial, or is that just?
Yeah. I mean, it casts a shadow. I mean, you could use that as a sundial if you wish, sure.
But they would also know the Earth rotated round. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, it was pretty accurate, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I mean, I need to look into it. But
well, the main thing that the only necessary element that we have is that something is circling something. Now, is it the Earth that's circling something, or is it the sky that's circling over and around us? That's the question. But the only necessary element that we need is something circling something else. That's it. The Earth can be flat and motionless at that point, with the sun, moon, and stars circling over us.
I want to ask a quick question. StingRay,
sorry.
Like right before you, clarification. The difference between a parabola and a hyperbola, because I put this GIF as a joke, but I'm looking at it and it's interpreting a little like the shadow or whatever, the line that it's making. I understand the circle, the ellipse, and then we got a parabola and a hyperbola. Is it because the parabola will reach a point and it flips, but the hyperbola like go up to the middle and then go back down, like up and down? What is the difference, parabola and hyperbola?
It's like that, yeah. A hyperbola is basically two parabolas that mirror each other going up and down. A parabola is one half of a hyperbola, basically. A hyperbola is two parabolas that mirror each other. You can make them sideways or going up and down, but you would get a hyperbola either way. It's an hourglass from two parabolas that mirror each other, essentially.
Doofus, if you want to maybe like answer it in a different way, or you agree or disagree with Lemon, and then we'll get StingRay. He's been presenting for a while and he haven't spoken. Doofus.
Yeah, go ahead, StingRay.
Okay. Well, let me just jump in real quick for the hyperbola versus parabola thing. They're both conic sections, and that's the diagram that you posted shows you how circles, ellipses, parabolas, and hyperbolas are all conic sections. But for a hyperbola, for a hyperbola specifically, the conic section, the plane that's intersecting, has to be, I guess if you wanted to look at your diagram in that way, vertical. It's aligned with the axis of the cone. That's how you have to have a hyperbola. It has to be able to intersect the conic, the cone twice.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, and then the visual that I posted is a strange shape, you know, but still, you know, I get the main idea. Appreciate you guys. StingRay, what you got on screen? You've been showing this sundial.
Oh yeah, so I show the sundial on a globe just by rotating it. Every sundial on Earth that we've ever discovered absolutely works all the time, and that's how they discovered. That's how they're able to tell time. That's how they discovered time. That's funny, but no, that's how they were able to tell time. Now, the important thing, just like Doofus just said, is we've got a problem with the flat Earth in the fact that the angular progression doesn't fit any known sundial in the Northern Hemisphere. So the one that I use in Chester that does actually work if I walk outside my door, there is no position I can adopt on a flat plane. Forget this map, which is the AE blah 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 map with the tropics.
And the StingRay is sharing his screen on Discord. If you guys want to see it in real time, click on his name on Discord and watch the stream. If not, you're gonna see it behind 30 seconds on YouTube. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so forget the fact that, you know, I've actually shoved this in Chester, UK on the AE map, or near enough. There is no position I can adopt on a flat plane, inside or outside of a rotating, outside, well, it's not rotating, a transitioning sun that's going in a circular type orbit. The other thing that doesn't work is the fact that it comes past like a bat out of hell if the sun is maintaining speed, which in 1 hour it would progress 4 hours. So someone really needs to figure out how, well, besides the fact that the inverse square law of light no longer works in this scenario either, someone needs to figure out how the sun is not in this position. Now, a brilliant example that I've actually got here, which is verifiable, because it's always a point of contention, is if this is the path of the sun, how come Australia on a flat Earth in Sydney would actually see this? That's actually what they see if it was plotted on a flat plane. This would be the motion it would have to take, and it would only work for people in Sydney. Everybody else, it wouldn't work for at all. So even though you can adopt a sun that would work, you can only do it on an individual basis. The second you say it goes round like this and is cyclic, it never works. You cannot say it works with sundials, things that have been used to tell the time for quite a while now. It just plainly doesn't. I'm done.
Appreciate it. A big shout out to a few people that was here. Marberman, you want to continue? You had a point there. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want StingRay to get that out of the way.
No, I mean, he answered it kind of much more better than I would. I mean, again, there is one thing that really kind of, I just have this hypothetical thing, Lemon. I mean, you really state that we're not moving. We cannot move, right? We're motionless. We stay flat. You know, everything revolves around us. Correct? Lemon, are you there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. No, okay. So the question is, what force will eventually make us move? I mean, we're going to have to move eventually if we're on this flat motion, this flat plane. We're going to have to move eventually.
We don't move. We're on pillars on top of a watery deep, so we're situated fast and unmoving. The only power that could make us move is something that could make us get off the pillars of the earth and hurtle through space. So we're not moving at all.
Well, no, I actually disagree with you 100% because I am a Christian, and I do believe in the round Earth. I have always believed in the round Earth. I mean, sorry, I don't think God would want us to stand in a central place forever. He would want us to move.
The Bible says, and the Bible appears to say that the earth is fixed and motionless on pillars on top of a watery deep. Does it tremble during an earthquake? Sure, but it doesn't move from point A to point B relative to some sort of background.
Chapter and verse, please, because I'm sorry. When I was in school, church school, yes, I am confirmed, there was nothing about that. So I want chapter and verse, please, because
about the earth being motionless and fixed.
Yeah,
let me see. Hold on.
Because
No,
sorry.
we already have a dog, and she's like real old. And my wife was like, "Oh, we can't because we already have a dog to take care of, an older one." But yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, I'm sorry. It's just eventually something's going to move. I'm sorry. That's just how life is. You're not going to stay motionless forever. You're going to move. It's going either by God or by gravity or some force. Just the way life is. I'm sorry. I look at that in that way. You could disagree all you want. That's just how I am personally. I mean, I don't like being in the same spot forever and ever and ever. I need to move on. I need to see the world. I'm not going to be stuck back in the 15th, 16th, or even 20,000 BC. I want to be moving forward in the future. If you want to live like that, that's fine. And I respect that. But that's all I'm going to say. If someone else can talk, I'm going to just take a smoke for a second. So,
all is good. All is good.
Sorry. It really frustrates me. Because as a Christian, when you have flat earthers telling me I'm wrong, when it's kind of insulting for me as a Christian. So I'm going to mute myself and take a smoke. Sorry.
Yeah, I want a real thoughts, Lemonbird. I think the majority of the Christians on Earth, and we're going a little sideways to kind of this biblical, Christian whatever, but just for a few minutes to entertain it. The majority of the people on Earth, of the population of humans, more of the Christians are just normal people as globe earthers. Flat earthers is just whoever the small amount of flat earthers. If you can add, let's say there's 2 or 3 millions of flat earthers. I'm exaggerating, but out of those 2 or 3 millions of flat earthers, half of them are Christians. And then of the population, you got still 2 billion people, or let's say 2 billion people. Still 1.5 billion people are globe earthers. So do you see the issue there?
And Jose, I just want to apologize. I did not mean to go with the whole religious thing.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No problem. Yeah. We're getting to the end, so it's all good. Lemon, what do you think? The majority of the people on Earth are globe earthers. I want your thoughts, damn it.
I might have broken him. I'm sorry. Again, to be fair, Jose, I love your show. So, I was actually working and getting off work when I got on the call. So this has been pretty entertaining for me today.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's good. It's been very entertaining indeed. I like this time, the afternoon. I like
for delivery.
God.
Check your shit, see if it's out for delivery. Oh, I'm sorry. I should be muted, my bad.
No, you're good, dude. You're good.
I think he's hot micing. I think he's talking to somebody.
Yeah, I was hot micing, my bad.
No.
Yeah, it's been a fun one. We're getting ready to get out of here. Maybe I'll stay an extra 10 or 15 minutes to give Brian Mavitt a chance to talk about the sundials that only work on a globe. So I heard, Brian Mavitt.
Yeah, I'm actually quite interested in that, actually. So
here's an interesting thing. The sundial in Chester, UK, that is an actual sundial that I can go outside and works in Chester, UK, and in no way ever works on anything flat, no matter where I position it. But if I do position it on the AE map in this location, it's actually within 1 hour, and this is, so wait a minute, let's do 1 hour. So within 1 hour, it actually progresses 4.5 hours And that's because this sun needs to come past at an astonishing rate, very fast. Its angular velocity at this point is incredibly fast compared to any other time that we see it as it goes away. It would slow down here. And besides the fact it would never actually make it down to the horizon being an issue. But even if that wasn't the case, and there was some explanation for it, it would have to change speed for the observer in Chester in the United Kingdom for it to actually work. But then it would be screwed for everybody else. Weird, huh?
That is pretty weird. I'll admit that.
The diagram I posted before was for Dresden, which isn't terribly far away for a different latitude. So you can look at that too and get an idea how that works.
Yeah, the odd thing is, all the sundials, and even especially the ones on the equator, the angular velocity when it's overhead is so out of whack on a flat Earth that even if we agreed that we were on one of the directly under the sun at one of the at the equator somewhere in that in the tropic regions, that it still wouldn't match even in that. There would be no sundial that works in that because of the angular acceleration that would be apparent if the sun is doing a circle. These ancient things that we've used to tell time throughout history would just all fail. But now you guys know how sextants work, so that's fine.
No, I actually think it's pretty amazing. I mean, I never even understood what a can't say that word, but it is amazing. And I'll admit, I love ocean travel and all that. So yeah, I think it's yeah.
So you cannot say sextant, but you can say purple burglar alarm.
Okay, that I can't. Okay.
Gotcha. Shout out to John Hawkins. Yeah, John Hawkins shared a video. He say Wolfie 6020 proof that sundials don't work on a flat Earth, and I shared the video on the Discord in case anybody want to see it. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get out of here. You're up screen sharing. The StingRay, do your final thoughts and we get out of here. Everybody, while one person speaks their final thoughts, let's all try to keep it in the down low. Let's do 30 seconds, 45 seconds tops. Final thoughts. StingRay.
Yeah, so on a flat Earth, we can't use it to predict eclipses by modeling it. We can't use it to tell where the sun is, when to plant crops. Sundials don't work. Predictions of angular size of distant objects don't work. Elevations apparent in vision don't work, but everything works with 1 degree of curvature over 69 miles on a damn planet. And we use it every day. It's useful. Even if it wasn't true, it wouldn't change the fact it's 100% useful. Cheers.
Cheers. Boom. Thank you very much. Brian Mabbott with his final thoughts. And if Brian Mabbott don't want to have a go, then we get Brufus. And if Brufus don't want to go, C4 and then Shike in that particular order, and then Doofus after Shike.
Okay.
Anybody? Because I had to step away. Who?
Oh, that was well said.
Oh, Brian's here.
Brian Mabbott, go ahead. Final thoughts, brother.
Sorry, I forgot I'd put it on to push to talk. I was rabbiting away and nothing. What was the topic?
All kinds of topics we had here. Brian Leakey was here for a while. Lemon Bird, we talk about perspective. Stuff disappearing from the bottom up. We talk about sundials, about Polaris, all kinds of good stuff.
A normal Tuesday afternoon.
So,
Gary, wait.
All of these alleged evidences of a globe then we should be able to test this with a physical measurement drop of 8 inches per mile. And unfortunately, nothing measures 8 inches per mile. There is no drop. So whatever fantasies you're living about these, what you call evidences, there is no physical drop of 8 inches per mile. So forget your fantasies. Let's do a physical measurement and find this 8-inch drop. If it isn't there, you do not live on a curved surface. Get that in your heads. And to all the YouTubers out there, most of these people are paid shills to push this narrative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian Mabbott. Hit that super chat, everybody, before we get out of here, or hit me up on PayPal, become a member, all that good stuff. At least, I mean, I don't have a merch and I don't have a Patreon, but you know, maybe other people do have the same options I got, plus merch, plus PayPal. Shout out to the Bev and crew. Doofus, Chaik and Doofus, you guys already spoke. I stepped out for a second.
Oh no, we didn't. Brian came in.
Chaik, final thoughts, man.
I don't know really. I'm a bit confused today. I had a question for Gary, but he didn't come back.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Doofus, final thoughts.
I was very curious why Brian Leakey doesn't acknowledge the fact that if we use long range measurements with an auto level and short range measurements with an auto level, why the long ones have to be corrected for curvature to match up with the short range ones. If that curvature isn't present, why does that correction need to occur? It's a very, very big question. Also, refraction doesn't move the sun left to right, which it would have to do in order to make sundials work in his model. So lots of questions for flat Earth, no real answers. Thanks.
Then you should have.
Thank you very much. Hold on, let me finish the final thoughts. I really gotta get out of here, and then you guys can have the floor all night long. I want to first do a big shout out to Citizen9. He just sent me $5 on PayPal. You see, I'm getting paid. I'm a pay shield. Citizen9 says, a wee first of the month donation, pal. Loving the derp. It brightens up my day. A wee first of the month donation, Paul. Loving the derp. It brightens up my day. Damn, I'm struggling over here. Shout out to Citizen9. Thank you, brother. Good pay. Earth is life. Final thoughts.
Hey, good show, Jose. So apparently Gary left because I guess he said that I lied about something he said. Actually, Gary, no, I never said that. You said that Polaris is closer to the moon. I didn't say that, but that's what your diagram said. So apparently that's basically what you were trying to say. But anyway, you're gonna call me a liar anyway, but I don't know. So I'll be putting out another video here soon. It'll probably be a mirror from Sly Sparkane. And I guess that's what's coming down the pipe for me. Earth isn't flat. Go out and check it. I'm done.
Boom. Thank you very much, Earth is life. I appreciate it. Farmer's Boy, what the hell? You off bed still? Final thoughts.
Yes, apologies to Joe Mungus. I haven't gone to bed yet, although I don't think I'm going to be a million miles away. Great show, and if our paymasters are listening, have I been forgotten? Or is it the post? Thank you.
Paying us a shields are a hoax. Grubus, final thoughts.
Well, okay, Jose, I just kind of lost connection there for a bit, but yeah. To be perfectly honest, I was I kind of fell asleep for most of it.
That's all good. That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
I do have some questions, but I'll maybe leave it for the next one. But yeah, thank you very much, Jose. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, thank you for your support and for hanging in there. I know you enjoy the show, so I'm glad that you got a place to hang out for a few hours a day. That's good. All right. Hugh Janus. Did you got some final thoughts for us? What's up?
Hello there, Jose. How are you?
Hey, all is good.
Good conversation. Thank you. Good show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome anytime, man. You're already in, you know.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And we got J-Mac in the house.
Hey, good show. I'd like to make a plea to Lemon and Brian Leakey and maybe even QE. Could they hurry up and finish their physics books? Because we're getting tired of using all the normie physics that we use at work. You know, we need to get the real stuff here. So if those guys could hurry up and publish, we'd be really happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Shout out to the boss man, the troll god, John Hansen in YouTube. I call him troll god because he's got the highest membership package out there. Shout out to John Hansen and Left Lane also, and everybody, all the members of the channel. I appreciate it. And you know who are those because they got a squeaky earth in YouTube next to their name. I appreciate your also support. Appreciate it. Thank you, J-Mac. Marble Merman 90, final thoughts?
Yeah. So to Brian, who thinks anyone who's on here is a shield, Brian, I don't work for NASA. I'm a cook from Colorado. The Earth's not flat. We have been traveling around the planet for thousands of years with sailboats, knowing that the Earth is round. That's my final say. This merman is out. Boom.
Boom. Thank you very much. Good to hear you, man. You got a very clear microphone and I like the way you think. So hopefully you come in earlier and get to interact more with us over here on the interwebs. Appreciate it, man.
Depends on what time I work.
Yeah, depends on the time. Right. Yeah. All is good, man. Welcome anytime. Merv63, you got some final thoughts for us? Then we will move on to the one and only, wait, let me think about this. The one and only, the man himself. Some people consider him as a legend, but he is real and he is here. He goes by the name of Arif Engli, Festivities, or AKA Lemon Bird. Your final thoughts?
Oh, thank you, Jose. Thank you. You're too kind, sir. As far as I can see, it's flat. Sundials appear to work pretty well on a flat surface based off of the curved shadow that's traced. Other than that, if you're going to go biblical with the dude who made the thing, and is the only person who's qualified to say anything about it, he appears to talk about a flat, still, motionless, and domed Earth. So the only person who's authorized to say anything about it, frankly, appears to be saying something quite different than the heliocentric ball. But other than that, I guess we have some new principles to look at from a flat Earth perspective.
We can have that conversation another time limit.
Thank you very much, Lemon Bird. Everybody, you guys can stay here as long as you want. I just want to wrap up on YouTube and shut it down. I want to do a big thank you. Gary Venga, you have to rejoin and to be unmuted. I server muted him earlier. He didn't like it when I was trying to explain about talking like adults and talking a lit talk. You got to rejoin, so we unmuted. And big shout out to Brian Leakey for being here. That was fun too. Everybody, hang in there. Thank you very much to all the people that was here on Discord. Thank you everybody in YouTube land. I appreciate your also support, and we'll do it all over again hopefully tomorrow in another boom. Thank you. And the last question that I got for everybody here: is there any evidence for the Earth not being a spherical rotating object up in the sky? Thank you. Boom.